Hello and welcome to the 2022 IFSC season. This year we are kicking off with Boulder, and today it's the turn for the men's semi-finals. My name is Matt Groom, and it is a privilege to be joined in the commentary box by athlete and expert Stasha Gale. Stasha, how you doing?
Hi Matt, it's a pleasure to be back in the commentary box. I'm doing great. Yeah, being back here really brings me joy. How are you?
Yeah, it's great to be back. I mean, it's a bit like going back to school, isn't it? All the athletes are in the same place once again. The coaches are there. Everyone's checking out new sponsors. You competed last night in the finals. Maybe not the finals you were expecting or hoping for, but what a fight.
Yeah, it was a pretty weird event last night. I felt pretty fresh, unlike most of the finals. But after boulder number 2, it just kind of really went sideways because I tweaked the finger on the last crimp. So
well, let's have a little look here at the men's qualifying from yesterday. That's Alex Megos looking in good form, relaxed. Manu Cornu in action, didn't make it through. Oh, no, he did make it through, but it was an exciting qualification round, good boulders, and the standards once again really stepped up for everyone. It's hard out there.
Yeah, it looked really at the beginning like the guys were doing super well, but then when the next 10 athletes came and then just did even better, I started asking myself what's going on. It happened the same in the female qualifications as well. Manu looked like he was crushing it, that he would be at the top, and also for Gregor Vezonik. But then some other guys came and just shifted him down a bit.
Well, we've got 20 athletes who have made it through into today's semi-finals.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. We stood out on the mats earlier, checking out some of the boulders. We'll be talking that through. There's Mejdi Schalk from Team France. Aurélien Berton, his teammate, doing fantastically last night. A real fight, almost made bronze medal position. Team Slovenia, Team Japan out in force. There are some old faces, some people we know, as Jakob Schieber, but also people like Hamish MacArthur there coming through, the young guns coming through the ranks.
Vezi gave a great fight 2 days ago. I don't even know which day it is. But yeah, really strong climbers, all in pretty great shape and pretty close together. So we'll see what happens today.
Well, there are athletes who'll be out. Jane Kruder will lead us off. The order is flipped, so the athletes who qualified in last position will be out first. The athletes who qualified in first will be out last. So Tomoe Narasaki won the qualifying. We'll see him last. And Jane Kruder squeaked in to this semi-final. Max Milne in the middle from Great Britain. He's one to watch, been up and coming for a while. Alex Megos, of course, we all know Alex. And look, he's perhaps, he said he's maybe not in the best headspace for competing at the moment, but when he's relaxed, he seems to do the best.
Yeah, I think the boulders were pretty much his style. I think the qualifications for men were much different in style than women's. It was basically jump and pull. And Megos was kind of good in this combination of moves, and also there's a crack, and he isn't too bad at cracks. So I was really surprised. I thought because of his headspace that he will drop lower, but he really surprised me, and I'm really happy to see him in semis.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We'll be talking through all the action. There are our boulders, 4 in total. A huge crowd here in the stadium. And Stasha, last year we didn't have a crowd due to Corona. It's made a big difference, isn't it?
It was a massive difference, and it reminded me on how much it hurts in the ears when you're back at the transit zone and the crowd goes wild. I literally felt the vibrations in my ears. I'm not used to it anymore. But also the difference in temperature, like when you were in front of the wall, it was so hot and humid, and there was little oxygen from all the people breathing there, and then you go backwards and it's completely different air.
I'm going to use that excuse next time I'm in the gym. There's just too many people cheering me on. Makes it very difficult. So we're just waiting for the first athletes to come out onto the stage. Brief pause, we're watching that little doorway cut into the blue, and there is Jane Kruder sporting a different hairstyle this year. He's bearded up.
Yeah, very classy haircut there.
Jane, always a fun athlete to watch. I mean, he's won many times before. It'll be interesting to see which form he's in. He always downplays his ability a little bit. Whenever I speak to him, He tells me he's not ready.
Well,
And then he completely crushes everything he turns his hand to.
I must say, it's really hard to be sure that you're ready because there's so many good athletes out there and everybody's getting better and better each year, and some young guns come out and you just really don't know how good you are. You can't know it, especially before the first comp.
So we start off with a slab, which I always think is a bit mean of the route setters to start like this, because initially you're hiked up, and then suddenly you need to be delicate and calm on the wall. That must be hard.
It is hard, even like getting your heart rate down after a powerful boulder to get on the slab, especially in this 5-minute rotation. That is really difficult. So maybe also getting after the slab to get hyped for the other stuff is tricky. But these footholds are really small. The whole weekend they use the worst possible jibs they can find.
And yet Jerne tops out in style, cruising through. He's got one move to go. He's going to get a high foot here into that zone hold.
This looks tricky.
He's got to stand up, keep the body tension, and that just pops off the foot. Stash, let's talk about photos, because there's been a lot of debate about the change in rules. So for you guys, for the women, you were shown photos before the qualifying and semi-final. That's now changed for the men. Look, we're not going to go into the ins and outs of it here on the live stream, but I know you weren't particularly happy with that decision, and things are different for this semi-finals.
Yes, so the pictures, they really hinder the problem-solving element of competitions, and you get the discussions in the ISO, and then coaches get really involved, and then you can basically discuss all the possible betas. And the problematic part is you might be completely wrong. Like in the semifinals, we had this first boulder, which we all thought in the ISO, you have to jump there like crazy. And that's also why Janja also thought that. And it changes so much, and I felt that maybe I was also a bit more confused because I saw the boulders and I felt more nervous, and I don't want to see them. I just want to, be surprised and see whatever comes up. But yeah, we try to fight it off, and hopefully it will stay like it was before.
Yeah, well, things are back to normal, so the athletes on-sighting these boulders. They've got 5 minutes in order to try to climb it. And if you're new to competition climbing, this is how bouldering works. You start at the bottom, you finish at the top hold indicated by a circle with the word top on it, and you've got to control it, match it with both hands. And Jerne Kruder's right hand is on a zone hold, and that's also a point-scoring opportunity. So we'll be chatting more about the rules as we go along. But Jerne, back to where he was before.
Yeah, so now he kind of has to try and put his right foot on the zone hold. There's another foothold underneath, but he manages to switch foot on this tiny jib. So now when he stands with the right foot, he's supposed to bring pressure on the foot, get closer to the wall with his hips or towards his foot, and then launch for the top. The thing is, these jibs are so tiny. It's like when you have to climb on them, you have to use your nails to grab them around. When I was slab in semis, I literally nailed all the holds and the edges of the wall. Yeah. And also these lines here with the boards of the wall meet, you can also crimp or grab it with your nails.
Well, the word jib I learned actually last year, and you're talking about the tiny
yes,
what's on
this
screen
is a jib.
now.
On screw-ons. They have many names.
So a plastic hole, but small in size, let's say.
Yes, very small. It's mostly used as a screw-on on a volume, but yeah, I think jibs, I don't really even know what it literally means in English, but I just relate that word to these tiny things. Jibs, it sounds small,
Yes, I like it as well. It sounds like an extreme sport, which is always good. So Jerne back on the slab. He's had a couple of attempts in 36 seconds. He has got the zone, and you know that because of the bar down on the bottom left. It's half full. For a zone, it will be filled up if he tops out and finishes this climb. So he probably has maybe one attempt left on this. This could be his last go.
Yes, this is definitely his last go. So at 0-0, the climber has to come down, and nothing is counted further on. So he's making some progress. He really needs to trust his foot, and it's incredibly difficult because the foothold is really, really small, and your body is leaning backwards. So you can't put pressure on it. The thing is, you're not going to slip off a foothold if you have enough pressure on it. So, and if you're sideways, that is a really difficult thing to do. So you need to use your arms to bring yourself over this foothold so you can use it.
Stasha, an incredible analysis. I can't speak today. He's got this analytical brain with climbing, which is such a privilege to listen to. So thank you, Stasha. Now, if you don't know how a semi-finals works, things are going to get very hectic soon. We start off with just one athlete on stage, but halfway through, by the midway point, we'll have 4 athletes all climbing at the same time, and then things go back the other way, calm down a little bit until we're left with just Tomoa Narasaki climbing alone. So you can ease your way into the competition, and if you're just joining us, welcome to the 2022 season. This is Boulder, and we're in Meiringen, Switzerland. And Tomoaki Takata is out on stage.
Yeah, he's already struggling with the start. When we looked at the boulders, I thought the traverse is hard. But then Jerne made it look so easy when he just walked through. And now we see Takata, Tomoaki, struggling a bit here. So let's see if he can make it around. So now he goes for the zone. And this is the trick now. The rules for the zone, they change basically every season. So now to be awarded a zone, you need to use that zone to bring yourself from one stable position to another stable position. And when you're stuck in an already stable position, and no matter how much you're grabbing the zone, you will not get the zone because you did not change your body position at all. And that's the tricky part. Sometimes you're just stuck and you don't know what to do to get it. And it's there in your hand. And you're just like, what should I do now?
Yeah, the change. Big fall there.
Slip with the hands.
Yeah, the change has been interesting because, we've seen a lot of last year athletes sort of with fingertips on a zone and that counting. And now, because of the change, you just have to... It's a different way of thinking about it, isn't it?
It's like you can still have a fingertip on it. But if it helps you move your body, that's fine. You don't have to take it on the intended place if that's a big volume and it has a hold on the side and it's all a zone. You can just touch it, but as soon as you, by touching it, change your position, then it counts. But that's where it starts getting weird, because if you're in a dead position there and you can't really move, what do you have to do? What do you have to move to get that zone? I was in a similar situation last night where I was squatting on my leg and I had my palm on the zone and I just didn't know what to do to get that zone. And I tried moving my shoulders towards it a bit, but apparently it wasn't visible, that movement, so I didn't get it.
Yeah, we can endlessly debate the judges' decisions and these things. It's part of what makes climbing so much fun to watch. And I wouldn't be a judge for all the money in the world, I'll tell you that much.
Hard job there.
It is a hard job. So this slab proving tricky. He's got 2 minutes 14 on the clock, so plenty of time. And how difficult is it not to get frustrated in this situation?
Oh, talking to me about frustrations. This is my main point of work this season. It's difficult. It requires some self-respect, some patience, some deep breaths, some belief that you can do something and that you're capable of solving the problem. So now he has his left foot on this other jib, which didn't seem to be useful for Jerne. He also hesitates to stand on it. But now he makes it work, so let's see. Oh.
So that left foot seems to be the problem. It seems to sort of pop and bobble, and then that's causing that right to go. It's a very small hold to stand on.
Very, very small, and the white volume is pretty bad too. And it's a bad sloper, and it's slightly overhanging the left part, and you're almost horizontal. So it's hard to pull onto these. And this must be very demotivating to have such a difficult slab as the first boulder. It's like, man, I don't want to be in their shoes.
Absolutely. And we have 20 athletes who'll have to attempt at boulder number 1. We're 2 down. And in a minute, we'll have 2 athletes competing at the same time. So we'll be trying to bring you all of the action as we see it.
I also think by the end of the semifinals, these 2 white volumes will become black and white completely. It's like by the time Tomoa climbs, it will be much less friction also on the jibs, and this is the problem of semifinals when the best start last. Sometimes it can be really difficult to obtain friction from anything, but sometimes it's not a problem. Depends.
Well, he's back to this position again, loses the feet, doesn't quite know what to do. And 20 seconds ago, he will call it a day. He doesn't need to keep climbing all the way through his time. And you'll see athletes making a decision to stop climbing to save skin and energy.
Yes, it's pretty common. You're allowed to stop. I mean, in semifinals, the rotation keeps going. So let's say it's basically the same as if you top the boulder. So if you top it with 2 minutes left, the clock is still going to run. Whereas in finals, once you're done or you give up on climbing, the clock just resets and you have another climber.
So that was his falls. Pretty unpleasant looking fall there, right from the top of the wall on that first go. So we have another rotation coming up. Yeah, look at that. A better fall there, more controlled from him, but it is scary. It's high, these walls, up to 4 meters up there. So now we've got two athletes. Jerne's back in action on Boulder 2, so we get a chance to see that. And his teammate in action on Boulder 1.
Yeah, Andrzej Pecharz. He's my age. We've competed together on youth cups since youth B category. He won his first world championships in lead in youth B in Singapore. Talented guy. He was in finals a couple of times. Yeah.
Well, there he is in action. I mean, you've trained with him. Is this slab the kind of thing that will fill him with dread, or will he be enjoying this challenge?
Oh, it's been a while since I trained with the Slovenians, must say, but yeah, I think he became pretty good in slabs. So let's see.
You have to be such an all-rounder at the moment, and we saw, you know, last night in your finals, there's different styles in boulders.
Yeah, but it was much more dynamic and very risky moves, and you have no idea where you're going to land once you go there. Like for number 2 with those blue volumes, we all thought you have to do a swing and then pull back and go up to the yellow one. But once we were in the position, it felt like it's so far away. Even Janja was like, I was 100% convinced I have to go further to the yellow in the zone. But then my foot magically, she said, stopped on the hold on the start. I was like, yeah, all you do is magic, Janja.
Andrzej there on the wall, and he's using the surface of the wall itself, because there are holes all over that wall. You're not allowed to hold on to them. You can't crimp them, but you can use the lines where the bits of wood join each other.
Yes, the T-nuts are not allowed, not on the volumes, not on the wall, but you're allowed to use wall elements.
Well, he's one move away now. There is the top.
His left foot is really inviting when you're below, but once you start getting up, you can't pull on it. But yeah, it's very tricky. Like T-nut holes, what we had last year on the slab is that Brooke and Natalia, oh, that's a cool beta. We didn't see that.
Yeah, we didn't see how he got to that position. That'd be quite interesting, because that start hold's on the left, he's got to go right. And that, you can't tell on screen, but that's a very big corner he's on there.
Yes, it's a massive corner and really twists you around. So what we thought initially is that you stop on the first yellow by toe hooking on the side, or just pressing up with your left hand and switching feet on the white one. But it seems like they have so much more momentum that they have to keep going. Yeah, back to the T-nuts. Technically, they shouldn't be on a slab. That is kind of the suggestion from the rules for making walls. So what happened last year is that Janja and Natalia used them for feet, and
we're just watching this coordination jump there from Jerne.
He pulls him so much out on the inside.
Yeah, because you have to be going sideways and wrap yourself around that corner. It's a tricky series of moves.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to stand with the left and allow the right foot to just go through and fall.
So those T-nuts, you can see the light shining through the holes in the wall itself. So you're not allowed
to take them, but you are allowed to place your shoe inside. And this was the trick. It wasn't really specified in the rules last year that you're not allowed to use it for, that you're allowed to use it for feet. We thought it was not allowed. So then there were like some confusions, and it got defined that you can use it for your feet, but not for your hands.
Always blows my mind when we're talking about standing in the hole in the wall.
Oh, I can't do that. I don't know how those girls did it last year. I just felt really possible. It was like ice climbing, you know, just like making it stick inside.
It's a monopoint for climbing shoes.
Yeah.
So Jerne looking a little bit annoyed with himself, fist pumping down. He's always hyped up. And he'd certainly like to get a top. He got a zone on that first boulder. He hasn't got a zone so far.
Oh. This twist is so big. I also found out that screaming after an unsuccessful attempt is a really good hype up thing to do.
It is, and the photographers love it as well.
Oh yeah. It's just like, you really hype yourself up. You just start feeling like a warrior, like, oh, you can do it.
These guys are warriors, and they have to try so very hard. Andrzej back on it, 27 seconds remaining, so close, just as the crowd started cheering.
Jerne did it, we didn't see it.
So Jerne in the zone, he'll be on the scoreboard for that boulder.
Oh, no. Some of these volumes, as you can see, are dual techs. And he just stood on the dual techs and slipped. Oh.
Yeah, no, 10 seconds to go. Can he do it again?
Oh,
he can't.
no. Boulders seem really hard.
Yeah, so dual texture holds, as if climbing wasn't difficult enough, some of the holds, part of them have no friction. And we'll point that out when we see one. But it adds a whole other element to it, doesn't it?
Oh, well, route setters are mean. What can I say? They really like tricking us in every possible way. So you see this shiny part on the top? That's all plastic. Also, where this first yellow hold is, it's all plastic around it. So, I don't know. You have to squeeze really hard.
Exactly. We'll see Jerne in a minute. Watch those foot pops. Where his right foot is, you can see it sliding off.
Oh, so what he did is he jumped slightly upwards to change the direction of his movement, because all this time he was just transferring his weight to the right and it was too much swing. So what he did was he like jumped upwards on the big foothold volume so that he slows down the move and moves upwards a bit so he can jump on it. Really, really smart change.
So Kokoro Fuji comes out. What a world championship he had.
Yes, that was amazing to watch.
It really was. So we'll be chatting about him throughout this competition for sure. Tomoaki is back on men's number 2. He's got a zone. No tops so far.
Yeah, no tops. We'll see how it proceeds later on.
So there is Kokoro Fuji. And I mean, look, I describe him as a climbing robot just because the moves that man manages to pull off, it's not human.
That sounds a bit too harsh to call him a robot.
A very good robot, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but it's like someone's programmed the moves into him sometimes. It's outrageous.
Well, that probably shows a lot of practice. He's a hard worker. He has good and bad pumps. Sometimes he's more consistent, sometimes less. But he surely does know how to climb well, and he is a hard-working climber. And, oh, he managed to swap feet.
How did he do that?
I think his grip strength is so good on volumes.
There we go. I told you, he had that programmed in. Kokoro Fuji, first one to top out.
I think
men's
also
one.
his key to winning the World Champs last year is how he campused on those slopers, is that his sloper strength is so good. We could also see it here. He just was so confident on this white one that he just swapped feet like it's nothing.
Well, confidence might be good. As you said, he's the reigning world champion.
Yeah.
You've got to have a bit of status, a bit of ego going into these competitions. You are theoretically the best in the world.
Yes, that is true. But sometimes it can bring negative pressure because you know where you were. And if you're doing any less, wow, look at that.
Huge scorpion move, Tomoaki. And now look, the final bit of this boulder, we haven't chatted much about it, but very, very difficult. Those grey volumes, not a lot of grip, no positive edges on them. It's going to be interesting to see how the athletes figure out this top sequence.
Yes, they have to stay close to the wall, and it's a very tricky compression move, and half of the volumes they stand on are dual techs. So this has to be a bit more dynamic now to the next one in order to get yourself out. So the middle volume of those in between his feet is completely dual techs. So he avoids it as much as he can. The one he stands on is fine, but this one he's touching is not. So trying to get out of this position is not comfortable.
Left hand trying to crimp the hold, and that's how I saw it, a sort of a reach up and a slap, a compression slap.
Yes, that seems logical to every one of them, but the amount of power you need to generate instantly to slap these two things and then still stay on with the foot, that's insane.
So let's see a replay of that into the zone in a minute nicely.
Keeping
That's the
body on
scorpion
left.
move. And that's
really
a balance thing, isn't it? Bringing those legs back like that.
Yeah, it's you have to control your swing so much. You can't overshoot it, and you have to push and pull at the same time. Pull with the left, push with the right, and try to keep your hips outside and try not to swing out, because what can happen in this move technically is that your body continues swinging out and then you're just out of the balance.
There was Team Japan. Oh, again, that scorpion, look at that. And once he's got the move dialed, though, it is in his muscle memory. It's easier sometimes the second time once you've done it.
Yes, it is definitely true. It happens that you hesitate a lot in the first, especially in slabs, and then you're unsure how you will end up if you change your position. But then once you've done it once or twice, you just can speedy walk through it in the further attempts.
So he's got 47 seconds. It'll be lots of time. He rests. Experienced athlete, of course. So he'll be taking his time.
It's also an interesting skill to have to assess how much time you will need to get from start to the top, so you know how much time you need to have left on the clock to get another attempt in.
And how do you train that? How do you learn that skill?
It's mostly from experience. You assess how fast. You can't really say how many seconds. I mean, you can also train that and say, okay, I need 12 seconds to get to this part.
He's got a heel hook in.
Yeah.
This time, a bit different from his previous attempt. And look, crimping the edge of the volume where it joins the wall.
Yeah, this is painful. Oh.
So he's going to look to slap right. And it's going to be a very physical move. He's doing it almost statically, trying to creep over. There's Miho Nanaka in the middle. Silver medalist in the Olympics. Didn't make the semi-finals or finals yesterday. It's a bit of a disappointing day for her, but she'll be back.
Yeah, she's not happy with her shape, but I guess that happens to everyone, and she needs to accept that she's human too, so yeah, she'll bounce back.
So Yerne back in the middle. He'll be on men's 3. We'll get to see that in a second. That big yellow and black boulder in the middle. There is Ali Barat. I know his name is slightly different on screen, but we've been informed that's what he'd like to be called.
Yes.
We'll be calling him Ali. So up he goes onto the slab to get started. And of course, without the pictures, the athletes won't know that this slab is waiting for them.
Well, the thing is, when you go to the transit zone, you get a sketch of where the boulders are, and if you know the wall, you know exactly which part of the wall is what.
Okay, so that'll be the moment they know.
Yeah, so you come up there behind the wall on the seats, and there's a sketch to know where's boulder 1, boulder 2, boulder 3. And you know if it's on the sides, it's a slab. If it's in the middle, it's overhanging. Or if it's just next to the slab, it's this edge. So you technically know approximately what's waiting for you.
So Yerne on men's 3, bit of a jump out to the right. It looks like a very big hold, that. And I think if maybe you're new to climbing, you think, it's so easy to watch professional climbing and think, well, why don't they just do this? It looks easy, but those holds are so bad.
Oh, he does it without cutting feet. Amazing.
Let's see how he deals with this slap. He's got the heel in.
Feels pretty good on this now. Wow.
Oh.
What a move. Statics it out, so he transfers his body to the right so he can really grab the side pole. One more move for him. Well, is he going to jump or is he going to put his foot to the zone?
So much tension just staying in that position. He's got to move upwards. Works his weak, goes for the high heel.
Sick.
He's got to match this hold. One-handed off, there's the match.
Impressive, impressive climbing. Is this a flash? I think so.
I'm not sure, we've got a couple of minutes gone. It might have been.
Yes, it is. Top first, zone first.
There we go, that is an impressive. He was on the wall a long time.
Yeah.
Team Slovenia, there they are. Janja Garnbret winning last night in pretty emphatic style. And there's Yerne throwing himself at the wall.
Tries a bit different, but route setters make sure you don't cheat the boulder. They really, this is a big part of their job now, to try and make it impossible to cheat, and they want to force a certain move. This
is the top, that high heel in, into the slope at the match, and you have to control the top. You can't just snatch at it, can you? It's not enough.
Yeah, so you have to control it, and there's this tricky moment where you hold the top with 2 hands and then you slip. So a long time ago, it used to be not awarded as a top. But now what they look is, or there was this 3-second rule. It doesn't exist anymore. 3 seconds is just, it's actually too long for how much we actually hold it. But you have to show that you're in control of it. And then if you slip after showing control, well, sure, you still get a top.
So little rule tweaks and changes throughout. This is Ali on the wall into this corner, and his right hand is on the zone hold. He gets points for that, and he'll have to stand on that later on. Looking a little bit confused at the moment.
Yeah, so you were talking about the big hold and watching professionals and why do you do it. It's the same as in football. You know, everyone is an expert in football and everything is like, oh, you stupid man, how could you not do this? Why didn't you pass? I mean, it's in professional sport, it's always much more complex than why didn't you do it. This hold, it's very overhanging, they're far away, you have a lot of momentum. The start is bad, and this hold is not actually a jug in this position.
So he gets his right foot out on that grey volume. And now he's going to get into the zone hold. That will count.
Yes.
And now he needs to pop up to the next slope. He uses a
The
knee.
knee. I love it.
I love a knee as well.
But now he has to get out of it. Oh, nice.
Nice transition from Jerne. This could be, he's got 3 zones out of 3.
No. It's, yeah.
Look, we're laughing at the knee because certainly when I started climbing, right, I was told by everyone that using a knee is ungraceful, it's not proper climbing. And yet, sometimes, it's very helpful.
Oh, it's very helpful, a lot. More often than you think. I used the knee in Salt Lake City in semis because I just couldn't put my foot up there, and that secured me the final. So I love the knees, man.
There we go, knee fans here.
Yeah.
And there is a difference, of course, between a knee bar, which is when you use your knee to sort of take some pressure off your hands, and what Jerne did there, which is using a knee as a foot.
Oh yeah, that's different. It's if this is a knee bar, this is a knee step.
And you thought climbing was simple. There's levels to this game, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're a couple of boulders in. We haven't seen men's 4 yet. We will in a sec. If you're just joining us, you've missed a brilliant start. We're in Meiringen for the Boulder World Cup. My name is Matt Groom. I'm with Stasha Gale, an athlete, an expert in movement. And we're having a lovely day watching some semi-finals. That's Jerne. The zone hold is the grey part of that volume.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. There was a bit of debate about what exactly counted for the zone.
So the starting position is defined as if 2 volumes are touching, they're not counted as 1 volume. So they're separate. But if there is a blocker hold, on a hold, it counts as 1. But that does not count for a zone. So if there are 2 volumes, if you see black and gray, if you, let's say, touch the black part and use it as a zone, it's not a zone, it's just the gray part. And if there's a blocker on it, it also doesn't count because it's not the same definition.
Right. Some of that makes sense. We'll look at that when we get to it because it's such a complex thing to get your head around. So, yeah, I was just looking, we can see it there. So Kokoro Fuji is on this corner. That is a big corner. So he's going to have to jump, lock off that yellow, which he does.
He's trying to stop it on the first hold.
So this is what you're talking about. Top right of your screen, that big volume. There's yellow holds, which are the blocker holds.
Yes.
There's a black volumes and there's a grey volume. There it is, and that's the zone on the grey part.
And it's just the upper grey. The lower grey is not a zone. And also, if that were a start in any case. Whoa, did you see that move? He just went twice with his right hand, pressed with the left on the... We're going to see so many different betas on this move. I love it.
Kokoro Fuji put it on a show. He goes for the... See, that's a more dynamic style compared to Andrzej's static approach.
Yeah, yes. But he stood on the plastic part and he slipped. Yeah, well, no wonder.
Nikolai Uznik.
Nikolai trying to get without the undercling, which I don't think works.
Nikolai, a very good outdoor climber as well as an indoor climber. And some big routes in his time. He's 21. He was in the US actually climbing with Jakob Schubert recently out on a Sleepwalker.
Yeah. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? The April Fool's joke? Oh, that was spicy.
Yeah. Check out Instagram if you want to know what we're talking about. Kokoro, yeah, he's on that.
So good. Such good check. Oh, no.
What happened there? Rushed or just a normal foot slip?
A normal foot slip, but I think it was a foot slip because he rushed. He just thought, oh yeah, I'm in a good position, I'm just gonna go, but it took more steadiness there.
So this is men's 3. We haven't seen anyone get this far. Matches that crimpy sloper. And then that black volume, again, looks enormous, but the only really useful bit is the section in the middle with the chalk on it, which is slopey.
Oh, look at that toe hook. Impressive beta here by Tomaki.
1 move to go. It is
Oh, no. That was almost the top. He slipped again.
Yeah, momentum stopped halfway through that move, didn't it?
Yeah, he slipped on the chip. But yeah, he brought his foot into the big hold, what Jerne tried, and then he gave up on that idea. But then he put a toe hook on this very sloping part, and it was super steady on the move up.
You can see those white volumes, as you called it, getting blacker with the rubber. Now, look, in something like Formula 1, rubber on a track means more grip. With climbing, it doesn't necessarily mean that, does it?
Yeah, it's like you really need to brush it off, and the thing is sometimes also a bit of sand comes off if there were too many climbers on it. And when you mentioned Formula 1, one thing I realized recently is that you also got to get your shoes a bit warm. You know, if your shoes are too cold, you're not going to have much grip on slopers. And if they're too warm, they might get too soft, and then you slip off footholds. It's tricky.
That is fascinating. I want to delve more into that in a sec. But Tomoaki Iskakuro leaves. I think he got a top. Tomoaki comes up. Again, he's in this position now. This is where he's slipped before. Can he make the move? Can he complete this sequence?
Who comes in. You can see this jib. It's plastic around, and there's just a little tiny part which has some friction on it.
Yeah, good spot, and there it is. His left foot's on it.
And he gets it.
No mistakes this time. A nice top for him, his first one. So, in Formula One, they have tyre blankets to warm up your shoes. How on earth, as a climber, are you warming up your climbing shoes?
Well, by climbing. It's a good thing that they take a while to cool down. So when you warm up and by the time you transfer, they're going to still be quite warm.
Oh, that left foot shaking. Disco leg there. Going on there. I mean, disco leg is something that it happens to all climbers. When you're standing on something that small, it's a real problem.
Yeah, you gotta train your feet. Look at this by Kokoro. Oh, I'm so impressed.
Yeah, this was a top. So let's watch a replay of it. He did it off camera. He's going to slap out, makes it count. He's got the toe in, not the heel. And then this last move, a big press up. Left hand will slap into that sloper, gets it. Needs to bring that right foot in, which he does, into a heel. Thinks better of it. Left out, match, easy work.
Where was the problem? It's like, poof, no problem, no crux, easy boulder.
Well, all four boulders are now in action. Janne Kruder is finishing off his competition on the left-hand side of your screen. And Kita Dohei on the right from Team Japan. He's starting off.
Sometimes with these modern boulders, like when you do a boulder in, let's say, your third or fourth attempt, it's not that you're just pulling harder. It's just that you dialed in the moves, and then it looks super easy when you do it, but it's just because you learn how to do that specific sequence. If you're already good at it before.
So Kita on this slab dances that right foot up, crosses the left underneath, and then swaps his hand.
Yeah, it looks super stable. This is a good position. Nice. Oh. Yeah, the top is good enough, so if you lose all of your limbs, it's fine.
Was that a flash?
I think so, yes.
So when we say flash, we mean he's climbed it first go, and it's better for the points if you do that.
Yes, although getting zones is a higher priority than getting low attempts on the top. But in case all climbers have all tops, then the attempts count.
So we got tops scoring the most, zones, attempts to top, attempts to zones. That's how it's ranked. And let's check out this boulder from Janne Kruder. We haven't seen this before. Again, quite a dynamic start.
Oh, nice. I thought this was a one-arm catch.
Great shot there from above as he flicks his hand into the pinch.
Oh, again, these nasty footholds.
Now, when I saw this boulder, I thought it was quite straightforward in terms of, like, you know where you're going on it. It's like you go up, and yet there are lots of subtleties in terms of movement.
Yeah, it's always the micro betas, as we call them. It's just specific solutions to a move. It's in terms of how you turn your foot, how you grab a hold. Like a beta is a solution to a problem. It's more like a sequence where the foot goes, where the hand goes. But the micro beta is just the specific adjustments of that sequence that you have to make during your projecting. It applies more to outdoor projecting, but it can be done also indoors.
The thing is, though, you've only got 5 minutes in the semi-finals, 4 minutes in the finals to work out this tricky sequence.
Not much projecting there.
No, quickest project ever.
Yeah,
it's like one of your projects, Stasha. You just see it and you do it.
It's like, I'm so impatient outdoors because sometimes it takes days to do a problem. And I do stuff in 4 minutes, you know?
There speaks the comp
It's not
climber.
my line of work, you know?
Janne's back on this pinch, flicks the hand once more. He's got 4 zones out of 4, so that is a good start for him, but we are seeing some tops, so I get the feeling it's not going to be enough. Only 6 athletes going through to the finals.
Yeah, I think you're going to need some more tops to get.
And remember, the highest ranked athletes have yet to come. Tomoe Narasaki will be last out. He qualified in first position. Yone matching that and then campusing up. Campusing is when you're not using your feet. And I hope we have some new audiences joining us, because one of the advantages of the Olympics is suddenly a whole new type of person is watching climbing. We get more and more climbers coming into this sport. It's not just us old hands.
Yeah. Behardt keeps trying to go double, but then he has so much force. Oh, that was a
nasty fall from Ali there.
Yeah.
So Yone gets scrunched up on the left. Then he's got to go out, hold the swing. All the time we're getting more and more tired of how physical that move is. Flicks the hand, and that's the zone hold. You can see how tiny it is. His fingers crimping onto it. Now gets the foot up, looking better from Yone.
So is he gonna jump or go shoulder up?
Finds the right, slaps for the left.
I think he rushed it a bit. It's tricky when you're up there, you have 20 seconds left, and you have to make a decision, because you won't get another try, most likely.
A few legends of the climbing scene in that shot just there.
Don't mind them.
Yeah, I mean, the time, the pressure. I mean, because you can hear the audience must be screaming as the time goes down. You know it's going down. There's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. Decision-making is a very important part of bouldering, besides problem-solving. And then you do have a couple of theoretical solutions to a problem, but then you just have to execute. And sometimes by making minimal moves to just tease the feeling, you can try to see what it's going to feel like. You can see Yone moving around, switching his foot, going up and then going down, and then deciding what to do. This is how you try to sense what you're going into. But sometimes you still make the wrong decision. It happens, you know. Manu, is that Manu?
No, that's we've got Yuji from Japan. Oh no, yes, Manu.
No, slab, Manu.
No, it's Manu. So Manu Kornu on the right-hand side, and I always think of you as an expressionate climber. Manu's another one.
Oh yeah.
We'll be able to tell exactly what the man on the right is thinking in a minute.
Oh yeah, seeing Manu in Munich, I don't know, so many years ago, where he goes up out behind the wall on the stadium and screams his lungs out.
That's who we're talking about, that man there, Manu Kornu.
I'll never forget that, because I felt the same then.
Let's see how he manages this, though. A good start to his competition. Up he goes with the right, and just loses it. And his falls as well. I think he should get extra points for the 360s he does.
Oh yeah, and he always falls from tops. I don't know, it's his specialty to mess up the top.
It is, yeah, that's very true. That heartbreaking moment in Meiringen actually a few years ago, where he matched the top and then lost it at the last moment.
I mean, I think the most tragic one was waving to the public in Munich and then losing it.
Yeah. Made for great TV, though.
Oh, yeah.
Nikolai rubbing his back. Athletes got to be careful not to injure themselves. Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, big, big fall there from Tomoaki. I think he's okay, gets up. He's been committing to every top he's gone on.
Oh. He tried to skip moves. It's hard to decide sometimes whether a boulder is dangerous or not. So route setters have an intended beta, and they have to prepare their arguments for the judges why a certain move is not dangerous. So if you go this way, as we thought you'd go, you will not injure yourself. But then athletes, when they can't do that move, look at that. Sorry, sir. That looks so easy.
Kokoro again in another level at the moment. The world champion stands up. He's going to try to get his foot in, and does. Reaches up with the left hand. And that's the new angles we're using, where you can see all the action at the same time. Takes a while to get your head around it, but I love this view.
Manu topped the slab. Here's a Frenchie. He's good at slabs.
He's using the thumb on the pinch. There's a little yellow jib there.
Oh, see the slip? See his grip strength.
Come on, that's a one-handed sideways pinch he's managing to pull off. That's not a move.
Oh, but that foothold is nasty, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying this. We're having a lot of fun here in the commentary box. Lots of action from the men's comp. And this is Manu's top of the slab. Popped up with the right, held the swing this time. You can see that left foot just coming around, tap the wall, stop his momentum. And wants to hype the crowd up a bit. Manu Kornu off to a good start. It'd be great to see him back in the finals.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a good showman, too.
Yeah.
I like how he climbs. So, yeah, back to dangerous moves. And then you see a move that you can't do, and you have to find your way around it. But the beta you're trying is actually dangerous. So, technically, it's not route setter's fault. But as we're climbers, we try to solve problems differently when we can't do it a certain way. And mostly route setters try to force their way in. So if you can't do it, you just have to find your way around. And sometimes that way is dangerous. Yeah,
yeah, well, this is the man who took that nasty fall. Hopefully we don't see that again, but he's coming up to the move. So hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen. This could be dramatic. Right toe up, matches. Here we go. Dynamic movement. He's got to pop out right. Takes a moment to compose himself. Off he goes. And he's, as you said, he's avoiding that right hand.
Yeah, he feels like it would be easier for him to just skip it. Okay, Kokoro now back at this part. I feel like he can just jump from here. Exactly.
He can. Another top. I think that's 3 out of 3 for him.
Good, good. I think this looks very promising for Kokoro and the finals.
Yeah, he's gonna be...
Nikolai is back at these compression volumes, tries with this heel, but this is too far on the left.
Big high heel as well. Most people going down low for that move.
Yeah, I think his decision is not so good, because when you go to the right, your heel stays basically left of your hip, which is kind of unnatural, and you can't really use it afterwards. Tamaki getting tired.
Yeah, 4 seconds to go. He'll be done. So we have another rotation. All our photographers here at the IFSC waiting on the side of the stage. I know they've been looking forward to this season started as well. And you can have a look at all the photos on the IFSC Instagram and athlete social media. So let's see which move we're seeing. This could be the nasty fall.
He chose a different way of doing it than Jerne. Jerne went with the right again, and he decided to go left, but then he had to push like hell from the right hand.
There's Manu Kono on the slab. So, action-packed round. The athletes come on, and joining us from Team Japan is Yuji on the right. And Jay Prahak finishing off his competition on the left. So, this is a hard question for you, Stasha, but having looked at the boulders on the mats and now having seen them in action, any surprises for you so far?
Surprise, definitely boulder number 2. And yeah, I thought you could stop the move, but I didn't see how you could stop it 2 moves further. Sometimes it's hard to predict when you aren't in the boulder and in the position.
There's Yuji. He started climbing at the age of 10.
Oh, that was a bit more dynamic than he would have liked it.
Yeah, Yuji started climbing when he saw climbing on TV.
Okay.
There's Ali, using all of his shoulder strength to get stood up. His right foot on that little jib pressing, and then he brings his left in and drops the knee down, really scrunched up.
This is hard to watch. And he seems to be much taller than the rest of the guys, and when you're tall, it's hard to get in such positions and to get your foot high.
He's got unscrunched and then slaps up. He was always falling there. He's got 3 minutes to figure it out. There is Yuji. We were just chatting about him. He was second in 2021.
On the last move now. It's great to see how some guys are really good at certain boulders and not so good at the other ones, and how this skill set is varying from one climb to the other. Oh,
left foot slipping off.
I think these surfaces are completely dual takes, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
They are. Let's see what Andrzej is going to do here. Oh, I thought this would be a good idea too, but...
So you think it's like that, so a press into that... Oh.
Oh, now it seems to me that there's a foothold on this pyramid, on the black one, on the very right next to the zone. So maybe the idea was to go slowly to the red one, try to stay there, and then go double, undercling left and top hold right. Or if you can put your left foot, but it seems really out of balance. So no wonder Tamaki tried to jump off.
Yes, exactly. If in doubt, miss it out.
Yeah.
Oh, creeping upwards, that right thumb, just the thumb on that zone hold. Oh, into the left, he was always going to the right. Peeling off slowly. So he was choosing to use the thumb instead of crimping that.
Yeah.
Mainly because of body direction, you think?
I just think maybe because of the surface area or personal preference.
Maybe she's got really strong thumbs.
Yeah, I don't.
I've never trained a thumb. I've never trained my thumbs.
No.
Grip strength, sure. Oh, just starting to rush a little bit. Getting perhaps frustrated. He's got minute 20.
Yeah, he's pretty young and we haven't seen him in comps so much, so it's not unusual to see him a bit upset with this.
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed by, because you're 24 and so experienced with this comp climbing, yet you're only 24.
Look, me and Andrea were the oldest ones in the finals yesterday. We're both born in 97, and technically Andrea is a few months older than me, so she was the oldest one. And that's really funny, because it used to be that the oldest competitors were like 26, 28, and now it's 24. I was the oldest in the finals very often, because all the kids are just so good. I call them kids because they're all 20 or less.
Crowd here.
So here's what Andrzej is doing. This is what I had in mind, but it seems really, really hard.
So his right foot on the edge of that pyramid.
Yes, and then
volume.
reaching with the right hand to the right hole. Really composed here, Dogi. Keita.
Yeah, watch that left foot though. It's slippery, that surface. He's changed it, got a toe hook in, slaps in, matches.
Nice. Similar bit as Andrzej.
I say toe hook, he's not really hooking, it's more of a scrub, maybe a press with the toe on the left.
Yeah, the hooking is a term that maybe doesn't really suit the purpose.
Yeah, the standard of these guys, there's no hooks involved.
No hooks anymore.
Just presses. Right, another rotation gone. We're about halfway through. Mejdi Schalk will be joining us on the right from France. Mejdi Schalk, very, very popular with the crowd. He's just announced. Let's watch a replay of this. Jumps, controls it. Ali there, swinging out to the right, kicking to stop the momentum.
Yeah, it seems easier to do this move with just one hand than standing on the volume. Ugh, this must be so hard.
And this was that toe hook or scrub or whatever you want to call it on the left, allowing him just to stand up and match the hold. Give it a slap for good measure.
Manu going for the scorpion bitter.
And Mejdi in action on the right, runs up to the slab and gets started. Mejdi, another climber, is as good outdoors. There he is, a young man, and gaining in maturity every year.
Yeah, I think in his case it will take time, but still very young and full of fire.
Yeah, fire is the right word, because he does get frustrated. And there's another man with fire, Manu Cornu.
Yeah, I think Manu feels a lot like a mentor and an idol to Mejdi, and they spend a lot of time together. Oh, look at this man just walking around, having a stroll through the boulders.
Exactly, I want to see 4 out of 4 for Kokoro.
Still haven't seen the top of this boulder, so maybe we'll see it now. Is he going to jump to the top?
I think he's thinking about it. Pan back camera, we want to see this.
Look at this man.
How do you analyze it when an athlete does that? I mean, that's not normal. Huge jump, the crowd on their feet. They know what they've just witnessed. We know what we've seen.
Was that a flash?
I think it might have been. He blows my mind every time he climbs.
Yeah. I mean, I know Kokoro is good, but this performance was just so smooth.
But he's come from the World Champs where he was unbelievable. Here, he hasn't missed a beat. Manu Cornu tries a high heel, then swaps down to the left toe.
This is this checking out that I was talking about. It's just like, let's try what feels good. And, oh, well, this feels somewhat good.
That's a Font-esque move, and he pulls it off nicely. Fontainebleau, an area in France, a bouldering area with very similar moves to that, and he's a regular there, so in his style for sure. 2 athletes left, Mejdi on the right, and Nikolai on the left from Austria. Oh, there is Mejdi.
Nikolai had a really solid performance in the qualifications. I know that he's good, but he had really that good confidence, and it seems that it might have dropped a bit today, and it happens pretty often when someone really shines in qualifications that semifinals then show a complete different story. It happened to a lot of girls yesterday too. It's not uncommon. I mean, it used to happen to me a lot too, that I'd be like first or second in the group in qualifications and then be, I don't know, 10th to 15th in the semis. It's a part of the game, also recovery, mindset, expectations, everything comes in.
So much to learn, especially when you are a youth coming through. Oh, big slap up. Nikolai having fun out there. He's got a minute and a half. He'll rest, have another shot at that. And this is, I mean,
this.
he makes that look easy. It's outrageously hard. And when we saw Tomoaki fall from that position, trying the same thing, a really nasty fall.
It's really down to the commitment from the right foot. I think Tomoaki could have done it, but he just, maybe because he had a nasty fall in the first try, that he didn't commit too much.
Manu topping out. He'll be pumped for that. And Mejdi, I think, at the same time, or not. Is
he did top it out, but doesn't seem very
I didn't know if he was frustrated or happy there.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to do it quicker, but he leaves even Nikolai alone on the stage.
Oh, nice.
He'll need some tops here. He's only got zones so far. Only 6 athletes go through from this 20. Reaches up, watch the thumb on this next hole. He's crimping that sloper.
Yeah, they filled in the nut hole on the hold. Oh, maybe too tired for such a powerful move. The thing is, you get really tired by the end. You have little time to rest. And sometimes the boulders are so long and so consistently hard that when you get to the top and you just get pumped, and then you have a minute and a half left and you can't really rest.
It does seem like boulders are getting longer, and this is something I talked about with the route setter recently, and he sort of confirmed that, because I remember back in the day it was kind of a few moves, top out, done.
2-move boulder.
Yeah, these are complex.
I think it might be because of the fact that in bouldering and for Olympics, for the combined format, we'll have 2 zones. And having 2 zones in short boulders is sometimes really pointless, because it will come down to having a hold before the top being a zone. So they need to increase the length and the complexity. So you technically have like 2 cruxes, first crux to get to the first zone, or 3 cruxes, sorry. Second crux to get to the second zone, and then to get to the top. So you have this good split. But that means really longer and more demanding boulders and hard to rest for.
Yeah, that rule change coming in for the combined. So not in action here today for this one. And that is Paul Jenft, who was unbelievable in the youth in Voronezh. And that is a man to watch for the future.
How
He
old
is
he?
very, very young. I'll find out his exact age in a minute. But I was watching him, for the youth. He's 18. And a lot of athletes, when they move from youth to seniors, they struggle a little bit. Paul doesn't seem to have that at the moment.
I think it's this concept of this transfer is not as it used to be. Because now the boulders in the youth are very similar to what you get in seniors. And the youth are already prepared for senior comps, and they often now train with the senior team. That used not to be the case when I was in the youth comps, and it was a massive difference, and we all struggled. And some of us are really coming back to our top places years and years later, like Andrea. We were in finals all the time and podiums in youth comp, and this is her first senior medal, which is really impressive. But it's like we're 24 and the others are 18 and 19 and 20. So yeah, the things are really changing, and also it used to be a situation that the federations didn't want to send the kids because it would be too early to do it in the World Cups. They don't need that type of stress. They still have the youth circuit, but now it's not a thing anymore. Everybody just sends everyone
Do you think any of it, just hyping the crowd there, do you think any of it's got to do with the dynamic nature of boulders nowadays? Because you see some sports, gymnastics, for example, very, very young athletes being able to perform. Do you think climbing's going in that direction?
Honestly, I hope not, because gymnastic pushes it too far when it comes to the youth of the climbers and the demands, because bouldering is still difficult, and it's strenuous, and it's, that dual text. Nasty stuff.
And climbing takes time for your body to develop into it.
Yes, and this is the problem with the youth and how the rules used to be. We had only 3 boulders in finals because 4 would be too much for our young buddies, and not too many comps. And even for adults, bouldering circuit is really strenuous, and you're so prone to injuries. These falls, as you can see, are not that naive, and we'll see how it progresses, but this is where you have to spare the youth, and they're fragile still, you know.
Yeah, look after the future for sure. So 1.5 minutes to go as Kita cleaning up the holds, making sure everything is ready for him. Sometimes psychological, sometimes just for grip, but cleaning the hold makes such a difference to friction.
Oh yeah.
Huge. And if you're any climber, will try it. Brush the holds and you'll see how much better you'll stick to them.
Yeah, it's a problem sometimes in commercial gyms, because newbie climbers are not used to brushing the holds, and they don't know that they should be doing it. And let me tell you now, people, you should be brushing your holds. It's a very important thing. And it will help you climb better, which is more important, I think.
Yuji nearing the top, matches with the feet, gets the toe hook scrub thing in, left hand slap up, matches, and that meant a lot to him. He was trying to get the crowd behind him. They are fully behind him now.
But there's this special joy about topping a boulder on the competition. It's so much different than doing it on training or outdoors. This is like a real proper hype.
Yeah, it's elite. I mean, it's hard enough to get into these competitions, let alone top one of these boulders.
He just tried a triple dyno there.
Yeah, Ali not doing the big jump we saw from Kokoro. "12 seconds to go, that'll be it for him." So we have another rotation. Benjamin Hanna will be joining us from the USA on the right. As he exits stage left, let's watch a replay of Paul. He was the youth we were talking about. Very tall, which might have helped him on that kind of a move.
It depends. I don't know. If you're tall, also your hips are much lower when the hold depends. It's being tall isn't always an advantage and isn't always a disadvantage.
Yeah. I always say it's not like an excuse, it's a talking point. And it affects different boulders. Sometimes, as you say, it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I think it's always good to have different boulders that affect different sized climbers. If you have a set that prefers shorter climbers, that's bad, and vice versa, also bad.
Well, that's our leaderboard at the moment. We're looking for the top 6. So Yuji is in the danger zone, but he's got a few boulders to go. Kokoro leading the way. And on the right-hand side, joining us is Benjamin Hanna from Team USA. This is his first semi-finals, in fact.
Oh, really? Okay.
His best result was 31st in Boulder.
He did really well. He stopped the move on the very right volume with his left hand. I think this is even a flash go.
So here's Mejdi. Can he work out this tricky sequence?
Wants to go right first, but that's not that good.
Fighting with his feet, looking for purchase. Dual texture holds mixed in with texture.
Slip.
And look at the rubber on those holes. You can see the slips from before.
Have to squeeze so hard on this. Oh, plastic all around. Can't do anything about it.
Mejdi, hands on hips.
Sometimes I wonder, when will we start getting moving surfaces? If that happens, we're done.
Oh, don't give them an idea. I've climbed on boulders that rotate before, and it's an utter nightmare. It's so unnatural. There is Benjamin Hanna. And he's in a good position. He's kind of locked in, and then, he was no feet there, just smearing.
Oh, I want to see a replay. This is the beta we haven't seen so far.
We'll watch a replay of Nikolai in a sec, but he's just topped out that boulder. Fist pumping at the audience. Not many have got through those sequences.
A lot of jumping in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's been physical, hasn't it? Apart from that slab, and even a slab requires a bit of a pop to the top.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you still stay on the foot.
Well, this is the sequence you wanted to see.
Ah, yeah.
The catch with the right foot.
Yes. Good, good. All my betas are getting done.
He listened to you. And look, I think one armour to finish things off to match. It's a good enough hold to do that on.
But we have a jump in 3 boulders, and then a physical sequence, and then perhaps a jump if you feel like it.
And of course, there's a time difference today because the men's finals will start at 5 to 4 today. They haven't got a lot of time to rest.
5 to 4?
Mm-hmm. So these guys are going to have to climb, and
that is insane. Sorry,
Mejdi goes sideways.
We climbed at 6 yesterday.
Yeah, it's a bit of a difference.
Why? Damn.
So they don't have long. So some of them will be thinking about skin at this point, especially if they're going for the finals.
Yeah, but you know, semifinals is such a special round. I think this is the round where you have to fight like a lion. Except if you're in such a great shape that you flash everything. But if you don't, if you're like fighting for, let's say, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place, you have to give it your all. And at that point, you don't even care about skin. You can't tacticize there. Everyone is so close together. Each zone counts, each attempt counts. And for me, yesterday in semis, I got a headache at the end. I knew I needed a zone at least because otherwise I'd be done. And I thought I'd need a top as well. I need to have 3 tops, and I was just losing it in the end. And it felt so stressful. At that point, you really don't think about finals. You're like, I don't even think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you were nervous. You were on the edge of getting through. That was great to see you last night. If you missed the finals, you can go back and watch it again. Mejdi goes right, catches with that left palm down.
Damage swing.
And I think, oh yeah, it's still got time. Benjamin back in that position. That move is so hard with that.
Yeah, he's using the left foothold, but I think it's the hardest beta to use. I think people have done better without that one.
Mejdi with a big slap. Misses it. He did get a top on men's 1. He'll leave empty-handed in terms of tops. What's happening with the French team at the moment? They are strong.
They really are. I think they have done good training camps this winter. They've done good preparations. And, you know, when it comes to preparing a team, you need to have a solid structure of route setting. And this is really important. You need to have a setter that is going to tease climbers into every possible position. And it just turns out that Jackie Godoff is setting for them, maybe Laporte as well. All of these IFSC official route setters, most of them are actually French. So the French do have a slight advantage here. So each federation is trying to get their own national route setters that sometimes set World Cups to do training camps, simulations, and similar for the team, and then also invite foreign route setters to tease different styles. It's just about how much budget you have to finance all that.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into a team performing well, and the French team having a lot of support. Now, this is Max Milne from UK. Max the Future, he's called on Instagram, and honestly, this young man here could be the future. He's something special. I've heard rumours of him coming through the ranks for a few years now, and it seems that everything's starting to pay off. But of course, it's a big step up into this finals, sorry, into the semi-finals.
Okay. Keita is thinking what to do here. Which jump do you want to do? And he slips with the left foot a bit.
Which jump do you want to do is right for that boulder, isn't it? Which method of leap shall I use?
Yes. How badly do you want to fall?
Yeah. Oh, that fall from earlier made me go cold when I saw that.
But I think he also had a bad fall last year in finals, Tamaki. There was this bad toe hook catch at the end of the ball at the very top.
Yes, I think you're right.
And he had the worst fall I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've commentated together.
We did.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were still coming back from your knee injuries,
Yes.
and every time someone fell, you could barely looking through fingers. So Paul Gent is back. He quickly put paid to Boulder 1. Out he goes. So that's our 4 athletes climbing at the moment on the stage. You can see the leaderboard on the right. Yellow bars filled up means a top, halfway means a zone. So Kokoro way out in front at the moment. You can see Max making progress into the white sloper on the right-hand side. Paul Gent just chalking up. Max fell off there and he's just brushing that hold back again. Yuji coming close in the center of your screen. That hand flip and the heel, which we haven't actually seen too many athletes put that heel in with the pinch.
Tries one of the many methods on the fourth one.
Paul made that look so simple. A little flick for him. Up he goes, easy, and the match should be straightforward, which it is.
Nice, 2 tops.
2 out of 2 for Paul. I told you, he is coming.
Yeah, it's good, it's good.
And as good a lead climber as he is a boulder as well.
Good for combined.
Yeah. It's hard not to always be thinking of the Olympics, but you see performances like that and you think, whoa. So Max makes the match. This is where he popped off before. He's got to bring that right foot up, which he does now, looking more in control.
Yeah, the disco dance. Oh, nice.
Yeah, very similar method.
Yeah, he had to do a little one-arm pull-up there to control himself.
Just a casual one-arm.
Oh, yeah.
12 o'clock on a Sunday. That's what I like to do too.
Warm up, hobby.
So 1 and 2 are done. 3 and 4 still in action. Into that pinch.
Smearing with the right foot on the volume and
Yuji drops the final hold. He'll have time if he wants it.
It's really hard to keep track of Japanese haircuts. Now, I've seen a couple of them having the same haircut as Kokoro. And I was just confused. I saw Yoshiyuki and I was like, from behind, and I thought that was Kokoro. And now all these guys have the same haircut as Yoshiyuki had last year. So
I told you, it's the back to school vibes, and everyone's trying something new.
Yeah.
Kita goes up. He had a look back for the time. He's got 10 seconds. It's not a lot. Up he goes. And we watched Futaba Ito yesterday topping out of the time by a couple of seconds.
Yes.
So disappointed.
Yeah, I've heard that from the backside. Everybody was cheering, cheering, cheering. She got the top. We heard that. And then suddenly the crowd started booing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was not awarded.
But I had a very good point about this. Someone saying, look, if you top out in the last second and you only have a second, it's almost impossible for the judges to award you the control because it's over in a second. You can't be in control.
Yeah, I've had this discussion with my dad yesterday, but technically you have a timer that doesn't look at the tenths of the second. You just have a timer and you have a beep. So if it's already 0 on the clock, it already switches to 4 minutes automatically, so it's done. It's hard to judge, and maybe something should be done about that, and it comes to the, you know, speed of perception by the judges and so on.
Anything that's being judged, if you leave it to the judges, there's always that element of danger, isn't there?
Yeah,
I mean, the way to avoid
human error, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if you top it out easily within the time, you don't have this confliction, but it's easier said than done, of course, but don't leave it to the judges. Make it clean.
Oh, Majdi on number 3.
Gregor Vazonik is back on the right. Great to see him. I was interviewing him, and we'll talk about it in a sec. It's Benjamin from the USA. Kicking off with the feet.
Oh, that looked so smooth and soft, but then suddenly it wasn't.
Really broke that down into sections.
Yes, exactly. He felt like he was almost standing still on the first hold and the first volume. And then just, oh, let's see what I'm going to do next.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see his thought process going on. And Mejdi's got one top, one zone. He'll need more tops to get through to the finals. You feel like Mejdi's time is coming, but it might not be yet.
He's young and he needs to learn still, and we all know he's really good, but it's just like timing your performance and being super confident in what you're capable of. He does remind me a bit of myself when I was his age, that I had times where I performed really well and times where I just got lost in my own head, and it happens when you're young and of that kind of character.
So there is the man, Mejdi. And there's Gregor Vezonik. He got stuck in a crack during the qualifying and was saved by Mikael Mauer. It was very scary. There's a video coming out on the IFSC about that moment. But he's put that behind him, and I love watching Gregor climb.
Me too, me too. It brings me so much hype.
Yeah.
It motivates me to be like, I want to fight like this.
Should all be more like Gregor Vezonik.
Yeah.
Manu Kodu will stand up. Which jump method is he going to use? He's got the right foot in. Is he going for the big jump? He might do, you know, it is him. I think he is. No.
It's really tricky when you're up there and you're sideways and you see the ground down there really well. You see where you're going to fall. And if you're going to think how you're going to fall, then you're not going to commit fully. But you can see here, Manu struggling a bit with putting his foot up high. Keita had no problems putting it up, and he campus to the foothold first.
Yeah, so not going to the zone, going to the foothold, and then bumps with the right hand.
Some power there.
Yeah, I think he might tweak that for the second attempt, or third attempt, whatever we're on.
Yeah. Someone fell or topped.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that.
Benjamin Hanna working upwards. We'll see a replay in a sec. It's the high heel.
The method that Nikolai tried to use, but I don't think that's good.
Comes down with frustration there. And I think this is Gregor.
Yes.
Up he goes to the top.
Gets it. Went with both hands to be able to control the move better.
So Gregor gets it done on slab one. Fist bumps there, nice to see. And this is Mejdi.
So you can see how some climbers had 2 pairs of shoes with them on the slab. And this is the thing now. When you're on a slab, you want to have soft shoes and hard shoes. If you use hard shoes, they're better on small footholds. If you use soft ones, they're better for smearing. The only good part about the photos was that, yeah, you could predict what shoes you can use in advance.
Well, we saw you take advantage of that. I watched you swapping your shoes a lot during that semi-finals.
Yes, I did, but it's still like, I knew that there were some crimps I had to stand on, but I still didn't know if I could stand in really well on the softer ones that I have or not.
So Benjamin slapping around the corner, much better from him this time. He's got 15 seconds. It should be plenty of time. He's had one chance at this, just gets the left hand. Left foot shaking, matches.
Really confident on the top there.
Yeah, awesome from him in his first semi-final.
So we saw climbers now getting their softer shoes on with them because they didn't have the photos. They don't know what kind of slab. They know there's a slab and they know it's a first boulder, but they don't know what kind of slab it is. Is it just smearing as it was in the qualifications, or is it tiny feet and standing up? So this is also a really nice tactical approach that you don't know what you're going to be dealing with. And this is what I really like, and we all like it. This expectation of something unknown, and you have no idea what's going on, so you just have to be ready for everything. And your decision making really matters. And if you get photos, you're killing that. You have no decision making anymore.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Nikolai right on the danger zone in 6th position. Kokoro still leading the way. Kita, Mejdi, Emanu, Paul and Nikolai are our top 6 at the moment. We've got some big names to come. Alex Magos will be out soon. Colin Duffy, Olympian. Tomoa Narasaki. I mean, there's an endless list of top quality coming soon. So yeah, that's the debate, isn't it? I mean, it's called a boulder problem.
Yes.
At the end of the day. It's a problem. It's something they have to solve. Yes. And if you know the solution, it just alters how you approach it.
Well, you technically don't know the exact solution, but you can discuss a range of solutions, which might also be very confusing, because if you assume what you're going to do based on a very bad resolution photo you have, where you don't even see if there are jibs on the volume or not. It may be even more confusing. And you can discuss what you can do, and you have like 10 different solutions. But that's not what bouldering is.
So Michael Mauam is the man who saved Gregor Vezonik from the crack. So this gentleman, in the middle of his competition, stopped climbing and helped his friend, literally propping him up out of the crack.
So Vezonik slipped through the crack and then got stuck at the bottom of it, and he couldn't get his fist out. So he was left hanging with the fist, and nobody really realized that there was a problem until Gregor started making really scared faces, and Mika was just next to him. And so he lifted him up so Gregor would get his fist out. And I thought he was injured, but luckily he just did the boulder after
he did it second go, after that. So this man, Mikael, did get awarded for that. He got another attempt. So it was just a lovely story, and Mikael was just, to him it was simple. He was just helping out his friend, and it's great to see. And he's looking good now. High left foot, gets stood up, matches.
So you're going to try swap?
Oh, the foot swap is horrible.
He gets it there. A bit uncontrolled, but ended up well.
Yeah, got it done. So, as things start to ramp up, are we about to see another top? Gets the right foot up.
Yuji on the last part. Tries the shoulder, too low, too bad to hold.
We haven't seen many athletes really utilize that shoulder press.
I think the hold is just really bad. And you're in such an overhanging position that it's the hardest of all the other solutions.
So that is Max Milne from Team GB. Team GB not at Meiringen last year because of the corona restrictions, and it's great just to see everyone being able to travel again, being able to compete.
True. I forgot about that. It feels like it was ages ago.
I know. And yet, yesterday as well at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a long year, and but it's come around quick. And we've got a packed IFSC schedule. We'll be heading off to South Korea next for another Boulder World Cup. I'll be on a plane soon, and then over to Salt Lake City in the US.
Are you connecting these two, or are you going back to Europe?
I'm not going to the US,
okay.
But I'm going to South Korea. And I've never been to South Korea, so
Me
I'm really
neither.
looking forward to
I
it.
think once I had a layover on the airport on the way to Japan. But the comp was supposed to take place also last year, but then it got cancelled basically a week before.
Yep.
Everybody had their flights.
Yep.
It was a mess. But I'm really glad that there are no COVID restrictions that strict at the moment, and we could all get visas really nicely. No mess like last year, so I think almost all documents are ready. But you do have to be vaccinated to travel without the exemption.
Yes,
to get
I
the
think so.
quarantine exemption, you need to be vaccinated. Yeah. So we'll see how that will change the field.
Yeah, a long season for us here at the IFSC. Lots of climbing to come. So nearing the top now. He's going to ignore the shoulder press this time. Went for the
goes to the top.
Yeah, straight through. Not quite a Kokoro-style jump, but almost. Going gets the toe hook in, presses.
I like this vibe. Crimps the edge of the wall just to turn around. Future showman.
The standard celebration now. It's got to be done. And why wouldn't you with a crowd like that?
Yeah, that's a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Still screaming. So Max, though, keeps it together, tries to get through, and that shows the corner of that boulder. Almost the right angle. Actually, I have no idea if it's a right angle. I'm trying to use maths. I should never use maths.
No, don't.
Never.
Don't assume that.
This is a replay from earlier. This is Michael Mauam. Stands up, gets the match. Good job from him.
Practicing lock-offs is sometimes so good and so useful in climbing, because you can just hang in there and stop it, and you're like, oh, this is chill.
And you feel like a hero as well.
Yeah, when I start doing that more often, I felt so much better.
Yeah.
Feel the power.
A lock-off is when you're literally sort of hanging there with your arm bent. And it's very useful for when you're clipping in sport climbing. That's our top six. Manu Cornu, he's in the danger zone. Mejdi Schacht, 3 French in the second half of the top 6, and then 3 Japanese in the top half.
Japanese are doing really well in the men's, also the Slovenians compared to the female competitors.
Yes, I was surprised by the lack of Japanese women in the semi-finals and finals.
They had one was it one?
Yeah.
In semis? And one Slovenian. And yeah, coaches were not happy, but here's our man, the carrot man.
Magos, yeah. He's, if you don't know what Stash is talking about, he's a very big fan of eating carrots.
Yes, I think the biggest one ever.
Yes, I think so. He might have shares in them, who knows. But he's very delicately standing
Global
up.
carrot production.
The conspiracy theories we come up with during the semi-finals, but he's making good progress up this slab. He's good at slabs. I remember watching him win Quiff a few years ago with his slab climbing ability.
He's very flexible, very strong.
Makes the match. He's got to swap his feet. He wants to bring that right through. He's going to have to stand up the left. He's almost wanting to stand in the crease of the wall.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's like, ooh, will he do that? Probably not.
Some magic from Alex if that happened.
It's really weird to switch feet on such small footholds. I mean, we had that thing in the finals as well, and I couldn't and didn't really want to do it. So I tried all the other options, which were really scary. I got scared to hell.
I can't imagine you getting scared.
Oh, what is
Mejdi,
this?
What a
This
rosary
is not
move,
too bad.
Turning, spinning.
And the heel now, nice. Oh, I don't know if anybody thought this could be done.
Yeah, Mejdi presses up.
Oh, we're seeing a replay. This is a top. Does one of the many variants to go first two and then slaps the top.
Yeah, I think that is a replay, yeah.
Yes, because it's already a bar there.
Yeah, we heard the crowd going crazy over it. Look at that, pumped up to the audience. That means a huge amount to him. And that won't have hurt his score. He's only dropped one top out of the four.
Just some.
And we were saying his time might not be now, but it could be.
Yeah. So we're seeing Ben on number 3, brushing, chilling, and here's Gregor. Doing it so slowly, he just stopped on the first part. He seems really steady on it. Let's see how he deals with the slippy footholds.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for them. Chalk coated over his hands, back and front, and palming that left hand and then just getting the thumb into play.
He's losing his left foot on the volume. It's really funny when you're like squeezing two surfaces and then you have to change your feet and you're doing these little hops on it just to try to get higher.
So Gregor has a minute and a half, brushes the dual texture.
So which boulder do you think was the most physical here?
Oh, good question. I mean, look, Boulder 4 just looks so hard, that jump, because you have to do all that work and then get into that
Yeah, but I still don't
position.
think there's this static isometric power.
True. They haven't seen sort of like those grunty lock-off moves,
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's just dynamic and commitment. But the 2 and 3, I'd still say the second one is the most powerful boulder.
Yeah, I think so.
Here it's hard to get in. You squeeze your body inside and it's
Well, that's the
hanging
thing. I mean, if
down.
we're talking about physicality, I mean, having your full body working like
Yes.
that is exhausting.
Misses the thumb. How could I do it?
I think he missed the thumb.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So Gregor back in that position again.
Sometimes the less overhanging boulders can be so much more physical than the overhanging ones.
Can a slab be physical?
Yeah. Body tensiony, you have to squeeze a lot with your legs as well. Whereas an overhang, it's more body tension to keep your legs in.
I mean, climbers training legs. I mean, there used to be this sort of 80s thing where climbers had very tiny, skinny legs.
Yes.
But with modern climbing, with the way it's been developing, climbers are having to train everything.
Gregor just running back in straight in a loop. Running back in a loop is not always a good option. But yeah, leg training. You have a lot of standing up on volumes to do. You have a lot of jumping to do. Standing on small feet, you have to train your actual feet muscles and calves. It's a very important element. And for the combined, for last Olympics, there was a lot of, well, there's speed, obviously. And for us, especially in speed, we had to do a lot of leg training.
We're seeing some replays from earlier on. This is the move from Mejdi. Look at this, just spun round one-handed before making a fantastic top, that leg flicking around. He might have just come of age here in Meiringen. I'll have to see when the scores are all sorted out at the end. Always hard to call this, and my math is never good enough to call it. It's your job, Stasha. You're the mathematician.
No, not in my head, not in my, I need a paper. I'm old school.
And this is Max having a look. He's currently ranked 12th. We'll need some more tops to move him up. Double slap and a catch.
It's really hard when you don't start very well or as well as you expected, and then trying to keep your motivation up so that you can finish off the round with confidence.
This is Colin Duffy, who perhaps surprise qualified for the Olympics. As in, I don't think anyone really expected it. And then he's just gone from strength to strength. And he's a gooder boulder as he is a lead climber. It's going to be exciting to see him this season as he develops.
Yeah, still very young.
Leans out to the left.
See those straps of rubber on the volume. Oh.
Yeah, well, you said it would get dirtier and dirtier, and it has done.
And it probably gets even warmer in front of the wall.
I thought it was fascinating what you said earlier about that warm, cold rubber, because often we think with climbing that cold conditions are good. You know,
for fingers, yes.
For fingers, and
yeah,
then
but not for your shoes.
And is that why we see climbers with shoes stuffed down jackets, warming them up?
Yes, it is. Let's say outdoors, it depends what kind of problem you have, but I had certain situations where it was freezing outside. It was good for the hands, but my shoes just felt like wooden, and I kept slipping off the volumes because they couldn't bend. Because you want as much as the surface area of the shoe on the volume, and if your shoe is stiff, it's basically like having stiff shoes, just that they're soft and they're cold. That's it.
So that is our top 6 on the right. Mejdi Shout got bumped up to 2nd place with that top. Colin Duffy on the slab on your left of your screen. Paul Gempt on the right.
Yeah, Mejdi looks good for finals now. He saved himself basically with the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Pulled it back from the brink. Colin Duffy takes a fall.
Not really sure what to do there. I felt you. Sometimes you're on the slab and you don't understand what the boulder wants from you.
It's every time I'm on a slab that happens. And there is Paul, and he might find that heel a bit scrunched up because of his height, but no real issues. Rocking over to the left. Which method will Paul choose? And you can see that right foot he has to stand on in a second.
He's tall. It's hard to put his foot up.
Yeah, Paul Gempt
tries to put it somewhere lower, and then, yeah, this is the tricky part for tall climbers. It's hard to squeeze in tight moves. It's something you have to train too. It's the tallest, or one of the tallest climbers in the female.
Yeah, he's 186 centimeters tall.
Oh, that's a lot.
He's got some reach.
Yeah.
Colin Duffy on the hand, a little bit shorter.
It's like you have to train so much hip mobility, shoulder mobility, because you kind of have to push your body outside of this central position where you have to put your foot in order to be able to put it. So you have to go around the problem, kind of, which is difficult, really.
Yeah, it's another problem-solving way of working out your own body.
Yeah, you have to deal with what you've got.
Yeah. So Colin was frustrated in the previous attempt with this, slipped off about here. He's making better progress now.
He keeps sliding down those big wide volumes.
Problem is, the second you unweight that foot, that's when that slip happens. You have to unweight it at some point to move upwards.
Yes.
It's a balancing act.
Yes. He doesn't trust the right foot at all.
Oh!
Here he goes.
Caught with the right, and now...
Now just another problem.
Because what he's wanting to do is move his left foot on that little jib and then stand up with the right, but then you lose the balancing point a bit.
Yeah. I think he wanted to try to swap feet, but he's just not sure what to do, and then he loses the support of the shoe on the small foot toe. Oh, Max is up there. Let's see.
Yeah, the crowd's been building him up. He's in a good position. Looks for that catch and gets it.
On the right side, and now jumps up. Very confident.
That will have improved his confidence. 2 tops so far in his finals. Sorry, semi-finals.
Well, if he does the last one, he's basically in the same position as Mejdi.
So don't go away if you're watching. There's going to be some action at the very end of this competition. We've only got a few athletes to come. I know Stasha has to leave us at 1 o'clock, so I think we'll be okay, Stasha, but
Hopefully, yeah.
I know you've got a train to catch, so. But thank you so much. My name is Matt Green. I'm here with Stasha Gale in the commentary box here in Meiringen. This is the semi-finals. The men's finals taking place at 5 to 4 Central European time tonight. Yesterday was the women's semi-finals and finals. You can go back and watch all the action from that. And we're broadcasting across the world. And this is our top 6 at the moment. Kokoro Fuji in first position, Meshdi Shat second, Paul Jempt, Yuji Inui set fourth, Kaita Doe fifth, and Manu Cornu
Now
in
the
sixth.
two Frenchies split the Japanese there. Interesting, interesting game.
Two powerhouses of teams. Alex Megos in action in the middle. Alex, first person to flash 9.8 plus outside. There is Benjamin Hanna with the heel. And he'll rock up into that shouldery move. Just not quite finding the unwind.
Yeah, maybe the heel is a better solution because you can rock over, you can move your knee to the right and your hips much better if you have a heel, because if you're on your toes, the range of motion between your foot and your shin basically is limiting you from moving over. That's why heel is sometimes the preferred choice.
So our audience getting involved. Nice shots from our camera team here.
Let's see what Megos is doing on the number 2.
Yeah, it's kind of halfway through it, and then came down. There he is. Alex never made a Boulder final. I'm pretty sure that statistic still stands. I might be wrong.
I think he was in the finals in Hachioji.
I see. This is the problem when I say things like that. Maybe a World Cup finals, but
World Cup finals, maybe
World
not.
Cup
Yeah,
finals,
but this was
it.
World Championship.
Yes.
But I still don't know if that was combined or not.
Yeah, it might have been combined.
I don't remember.
Certainly, he's always, because I spoke to him last year, and he was. I said, "Are we going to see you in finals?" He said, "Well, that would be unexpected." So always more of a lead climber. Palms his way up though, so strong.
Oh, tries to go to the right side first.
Alex's flexibility, frog squatting on that hold with the hip flexibility.
I think he's. Well, he tried to stand on the non-dual text part.
Benjamin Hanna looking like he's getting fatigued out there, looking tired.
It requires quite a lot of endurance. Endurance in the sense that you need to recover in between the boulders, and endurance that you're able to try hard within the 5 minutes with minimum rest. This is something I have to work on specifically, which I realized in semifinals. I get pumped there. I did not expect to get that pumped.
Go and try this if you're watching it. Go to your local boulder hall, pick a boulder that's at your limit, and then give yourself a time limit, and it changes everything. I mean, pick a boulder that's not at your limit, and it changes everything. Yeah. So difficult.
This is why sometimes when people think, oh, outdoor climbers should be doing comps, and why are they doing so badly at comps? It's a different mindset. It's like, of course, all of these climbers are capable of doing these boulders, but there is this stress, there's fatigue from previous rounds, from previous rotations. There's so many factors at play here.
Yeah, sometimes route setters tell me boulders are like 7B plus, for example, and you think, well, obviously these guys can do it, but it's all the other things that make it difficult.
Yes, and then route setters say, oh, well, we did the boulder in the sneakers. Yeah, sure, but you tried it
yes, you
a
planned
million times, and you made it, and you most likely made it to your strengths. It's like hardly is a route setter going to make a boulder that it's not in their scope of skills.
Yeah.
It rarely happens.
It does make me smile, though, when I watch them do it in trainers. They're just showing off, really.
Yeah. It really bothers some people when route setters film themselves doing a boulder in sneakers and then post it up. Some gyms try to avoid posting that because apparently the customers get angry.
Yes. I think I might, actually. So Yoshiyuki Ogata, another Team Japan. Oh, big fall. They almost hit the volume on the way down.
Yeah, and they almost got in between the wall and the mat. Oh, Vazonic losing it there. Scream it out, Gregor.
Yes, Gregor.
Mega still trying this bit.
Yeah, with 10 seconds to go, I think he committed to it throughout. No go for him. Just 2 climbers left to come out. We're winding down here in Meiringen for the semi-final. It's been a lot of fun. Love having Stasha here in the commentary box. Thank you very much. broadcasting throughout the world, including on Eurosport. It's lovely to be here. And that is our top 6. Manu Cornu in the danger zone in 6th position.
Yeah, 2 tops and 1 zone might not be enough. 3 zones, sorry, with those 2 included.
Watch Max Milne as well, 7th position, and he's got 1 boulder to go. He might jump up.
Yeah, so even if he gets a zone, he will still be above those guys. So if Max gets a zone, which I guess will not be difficult for him, he will be above Keita Dohi.
Stash is calling this one. I just want everyone to remember that. No, it's difficult
I should watch my words.
we do have to do a lot of judgments, and it's yeah, there's a lot going on during these semi-finals. But you can download the IFSC app. Live updates you on the scoreboard. Crowd getting behind the athletes. There is Max. He's on his final boulder. Can he do something special here?
Uh-oh.
Not on that round. Michael Mauem.
These brushes were difficult to handle, I must say. And since the COVID addendum and COVID rules were introduced, we have to brush holds ourselves, which is difficult. You have, in the time that you're supposed to be resting, you're still straining your body, brushing something that's high up.
You can get pumped brushing something like that.
You do, and it's difficult. And I really dislike the rule. I really hope this changes soon. I mean, come on, there are 3,000 people in this venue, and you can't have a brusher come up and brush your boulder? Come on, joke.
He's getting tweets all the time, and that is Colin Duffy on men's 2. He's down in 17th at the moment. Missed the top on boulder 1.
This little squat he did.
And now works his way down. I haven't seen anyone else use Alex Magos' method.
Well, Magos didn't do it either. So
no, I think it was wrong.
It was very wrong there. That was a good feet confidence on this plastic part.
Yeah, Colin looking better now. He easily makes the top.
It's a good one. Confident.
Yeah,
finish.
he'll be underway now. I mean, look, we talked about the slab being a hard place to start.
Yeah.
He'll feel better after that. Goes off without a chalk bag, or is it attached to him? Yeah, it's attached to him. There we go. Shots within shots.
So, Zan Sudar is now on boulder number 1.
There he is.
Sudi. I've known him since we were, I don't know, 14, 15. We were in the same local climbing team in Slovenia. We trained together for quite a while. And it's really good to see him grow so much and basically winning the round.
Yeah, his best result was 5th in the European Cup 2019.
Yeah.
So not quite breaking out yet, but he's qualified high up in the semi-finals.
Yeah, he trains with Gregor. They come from the same little place in Slovenia, from Ravne na Koroškem. And Gregor was his mentor and idol since he was a kid, as Mejdi's is Manu. So I guess Fezi was really proud to see Sudi come up with him in semis.
Yeah, I love these stories.
This high place.
So you trained with Zan for a long time?
Yes, we did. We were teenagers, stubborn ones.
You surprised me.
Oh no.
So let's see what he could do. Qualified in 2nd for this semi-finals. It's something we see sometimes, though, that an athlete will qualify very high up, and then, as you said, just sort of not convert that into a finals place.
Yeah, you gotta learn to do that too. So back to Max. Max has got a zone, so he's in 5th place now. No.
So Max could be on for a finals position here.
He needs to commit here really hard. Come on.
Big.
Not enough.
Pop out, yeah.
That black one's really bad.
It's bad. It's not a shoulder press for sure. So Mikel using his right foot on a little yellow screw on that volume, and that was the zone hold we were talking about. He gets it there. Using it. That drop knee, huge drop knee down.
Also a tall guy.
Yeah, coming out of that scrunched up position is hard, and he'll be looking for precision on this move. He needs to get the screw on with the thumb.
Not with the knee inside. He can't really reach it. Let's get his knee out, and that moves his hips outside.
It wasn't high enough on it.
Yeah, he was the right foot is too low. He tried to static the move, but then while moving his knee outside, you have to push your hips out because, well, your leg has a certain length, so you can push yourself out of the balance position.
So our final athlete will be joining us, Tomoa Narasaki, a legend in the climbing world, is Tomoa. And I would imagine that the style of that slab could suit him. It's very technical.
Although he did struggle on a slab, I think, in qualifications, so
yeah,
you never know what
you never
to
know.
expect.
And that is Colin Duffy topping out. And there is Mikel, who's just saw a shot of Aurélien Berton, who was in action last night. Almost made podium, so close. Well, look, that's what we're talking about. Max in 5th.
Kicked Manu out.
Kicked Manu out. He's down in 7th, so we'll not see Manu in the final. But Max is in a dodgy position. That's not guaranteed by any account.
Yeah, it seems that 2 zones with 2 tops, with 4 zones is just enough, but then it does come down to the attempts to the top and attempts to the zone. But look, Max has 2 tops and 9 attempts, and then zones in 20.
So there's Tomoa Narasaki on the right-hand side on the slab. Is he in slab form? We'll see. And Gregor on the left will be finishing up his competition on Boulder 4. So creeping up. It looked like he was just going to pop up for that hold, but he needs to upgrade his feet.
You never know, Tomoa just jumps out of nowhere sometimes.
He's wearing quite a stiff shoe there as well.
Yeah, with flagships, I don't know, sometimes I find it super soft, sometimes super stiff. I did top a slab in those ones, so it's like a mix.
There we go. Gregor now, eyes up, he's going for the jump.
Hard to stick in.
So Gregor points down to the mat. I think he was just saying it's just come up a bit of a flappy mat.
Yoshiyuki on the zone.
He's in 18th, not had the best semi-finals. Well, sorry, he's only on Boulder 2, isn't he? What am I talking about? But he missed the top. He doesn't quite get that.
This is the Megos bit, I think. Oh, Megos here.
Yeah, true. And there is the man.
Hanging around.
Hanging around. Different beater, not that big drop knee. It seems to be the taller climbers who are using that more. Then with a toe hook underneath.
Gotta balance this. It's a really bad hold, and especially when they fill up the T-nut hole, it gets hard. Usually you can, in gym, sometimes they don't bother with filling up this hold, so you can just cheat it with the thumb in. But in comps, they make sure you can't cheat that.
Yeah, because you can use it. If it's not filled in on the hold,
yes, you can
use it.
Yes. Sometimes people go in mono with the middle finger.
And it makes a difference, especially when you've got a pinch. If you're allowed your thumb in the hole.
It's a much better hold than...
And there is Megos in the middle. Gregor Bozonic standing, chalking up, resting. Yoshiki Ogata makes the jump on men's 2.
Oh, it's hard to watch all of them at the same time.
There's so much action going on, isn't it?
Megos almost holds on.
So Megos and Gregor come off. Tomoa Narasaki still on. He's trying to get the right foot upgraded. Yoshiki Ogata in that squat Megos position. There he is, that same beater. Didn't work for Alex. Will it work for him?
Up somehow.
Problem is, when you're squatting down like that, you do have to stand up into the compression.
You do, and then you have no support on your legs almost, and hands neither. So Gregor's back here. Let's see.
That's what the shoulder press.
No, this one. I like that one.
It's hard to remember that we've been watching all the athletes try that shoulder press and it's not working. Gregor doesn't know that.
Yeah, they don't. We know. If we could tell it, don't do it, it would be against the rules also.
Exactly. But you've got to remember that. These athletes are seeing it for the first time. They will have maybe seen someone out the corner of their eye doing it, but they're really focusing on their own boulder.
Yeah, technically, if you look at someone, it's not allowed. You can get a yellow card for that. You're not allowed to look at other climbers do a boulder. The coaches are not allowed to tell you anything that might give you any hint of what you should be doing. It's a very strict environment.
Alex Megos standing up
this looks really
strong.
good now, so now just has to jump off of this.
Sets himself up,
And
gets it.
Great. 20 seconds left to go.
Good job from
He's
Alex,
on
was
the
in
top.
16th, he needed a top.
Definitely.
And Gregor, I think, might have topped out as well.
It doesn't seem so, no?
Maybe not, he's fist bumped at the audience. Maybe he was saying goodbye. Well, I'm sure we can see a replay.
I think he was saying goodbye, I don't know, to be honest. No, he was not top.
No top, just a
top
farewell from Gregor.
Zones. So he's in the 9th currently.
So now you can see the roots heads coming on to repair the matting. That was what Gregor was complaining about. We are seeing a replay here of Samoa. He got the top. Oh, look at that. That's a big move.
He struggled with trusting the foot on the right side.
As you said, maybe slab's not his thing at the moment, having struggled in the qualifying round. So Max staying in 5th at the moment. Kita down in 6th, Yuji in 4th, Paul Jenft in 3rd, Mejdi 2nd, and Kokoro still 1st. Kokoro in a different level.
Yeah.
It's interesting, we watched it with Yanya yesterday. It seems like Yanya was on a different kind of plane, and it seems like Kokoro might be as well.
Kokoro is the new Yanya. Okay, maybe not.
Wow, we're making claims here in the box.
Oopsie, I'm sorry for that one.
2 hours in, and we're making outrageous statements, but might be the case.
I'm getting hungry, I'm sorry. My brain is not working anymore.
Send cake.
Yeah, muffins here, please.
So there is Mikel Mawam and his final boulder. 1 top, 2 zones for him in 13th. It's not going to be enough. It stays that way.
He needs to top it to get in the game. He has a flash, which is good as a basis, but it's often really that sometimes for finals, sometimes see, grammar doesn't work. It happens often that you need two tops and all the zones to get in semis. And these 2 tops are just enough.
Yeah, well, we saw that in the women's semi-final.
Yeah.
Zones, it was all about the zones in the last couple of boulders. So there is Zan standing up into the pinch. He only got a zone on the first one.
Move the foot a bit further out to the right. Oh, he's trying to stand on this edge. Oh, this is...
He's trying to stand on the corner, but the corner joins the dual texture bit.
No, this one is fully textured, but he's standing on the edge and he's going to the right. Oh, and Colin flashed this.
Yeah, he's starting to raise his game a little bit. Had a slow start, building now. Nearing the end of our semi-final here. I have a couple of hours break, and the men will be back in action this evening. See some replays then. This is Colin Duffy. Oh.
You see, this is a plastic part up there, so he was just smearing on it and slipping off and trying to find a point of balance. It's all about trying to control the uncontrollable and seeking the parts that you can control, but you cannot have a full one.
Sounds like a philosophy on life, that.
No.
Let alone a boulder. So Mikel using his shoulders to press in. A right-hand crimp on the zone, very small, then edges his hands over.
See what he's going to do here. Wants to go for the static one.
But he's such a dynamic climber. I thought he would go for the jump.
Try to go a safe option. Oh, what was that? Opa, not the one.
Not the one.
See how he's testing 1, testing 2nd, and he's like, okay, I have to jump. I think he just felt that he can do it, but he lost some power trying to see if he can static the moves.
He's going for like a backwards pinch.
Yeah, that one was not that promising.
Yeah. But how often does that happen as a climber when you're on the wall? Do you tend to do things that afterwards you think, why did I do that? But in the moment it feels right?
Yeah, it happens because when you're up there, you don't think as you normally would. You don't think in words. You just think in sort of what feels good. And then you have an idea which seems fine, and then you try it, and then you'd realize you're very wrong there.
Well, Zan has a minute left. Works his way up. Dual texture really proving hard on this boulder. The crux section, this really.
He really needs to push with his right leg or get it on the very right side. He still wants to stand on this top. doesn't trust the plastic part, but standing on this edge, for me, I think it's much worse.
And then moving towards the right, now gets the left palming in. He's in a better position, but how much energy has he burnt getting into it?
No, standing in that position for so long is draining.
Yeah.
You can't even be efficient anymore in the end. Even if you're trying to move in a better direction, you're too tired.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more dual texture holds used. And in the World Championships for the youth, I looked at a hold that was pure no texture.
Yes.
The whole thing, which could be the future.
I hope not, man. If that is the future, I don't like that future.
But you are going to get to this point where, you know, the standard of athletes raises every year. And I know a lot of the women were saying how hard the qualifying rounds were. Every year it seems to rise up.
Yeah, it does, definitely. I mean, the setting in general for women, this competition was brutal. Like semifinals, the first two were okay, doable, and then the last two just brutal.
So that is our top 6. Hasn't really changed too much. Paul Gempt, Menschli Schalk, 2 very young athletes in the top 3.
Yeah, I think they're pretty safe up there so far. I won't do any final calls. I don't want that responsibility, but let's say it looks good for them.
It is looking good. I think they're pretty much in, aren't they? So Alex Megos is on the left. This is his final boulder. Just takes a moment to read the route. And it is a bit like a route, these are long boulder problems.
So Alex needs a top. Alex needs a top if he wants to have a chance of finals.
Can he do it? Not on that move.
There's a lot of chalk on this hold now.
There is, isn't it? Changing colour. Athletes are allowed liquid chalk, powdered chalk, whatever works for them.
Chiyuki smears on the dual text. He kind of couldn't reach for the edge on the very right.
That hold there, which is blocked, that's just so the athletes can't stand on the edge of the volume. The yellow blocker in the middle of the volume.
It depends which one. The one is for the foot, one is for the hold, so they don't grab it too close. They want it to be far away.
Blocker holds used just to stop the athletes doing what the route setters don't want them to do. So Tomoa now up with the left foot, bumping with the right, comes in, slaps it, sticks it, matches, and that's 2 out of 2 for him.
Looking
And a
good
quick
so far.
top.
Yeah, very quick, nice. It was from yesterday.
So Alex didn't make that first move. Tomoa got it quickly. 2 minutes 55.
Tomoa is already up on the 9th place so far. So
It's
he
marked
technically does need 2 zones, but I'm sure he'll top some more.
Chico Gata getting stood up high. He's going to look for that pinch, gets it easily. We've seen some slapping for it. He's precision, and look at that from Yoshiyuki.
He's really good at pinches. He's excellent at pinches.
Yeah, gets the pinch done. Strong thumbs. Alex Megos is trying to battle into position. He needs to get the right foot up. Now leans backwards to lay back that half moon sloper. I think he's looking to go for a jump. Gets it and just peels off.
If you're going to try and do the first 2 as a jump, you have to control your direction. You mustn't go too much to the right, because the left, the black one, is really bad, and if you go too much to the right, you cannot use it to stop your movement. So you have to be balanced and go a bit slower.
Yeah, that is the hole that's got covered in chalk. Alex often talks about the importance of brushing holds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's right there. Especially at the boards. Yeah, you can find kilter boards and moon boards in gyms which are full of chalk, and nobody bothers to brush them.
Yeah.
And that's wrong, people. Brush
Once it's
your
gone
holds.
too far as well, it's hard to pull it back.
Yeah, they have to put them down, wash them all, and that's a really big job for the gym.
You know, we're true climbing nerds, but we've had a lot of conversations about brushing holds, and I'm genuinely fascinated. I could talk about it all day. So Alex Megos gave it a brush. He's now ready, cleans his shoes, because the mats are filling up with chalk out there. We've had 20 athletes coming through, and the athletes will make sure, because chalk on the hands is good, chalk on the feet less good. It rolls off. big swing and he'll look to bump out right to the zone. And she gets
I don't even know why it's that tiny foothold there. Like, nobody used it.
a bit of a trick, maybe?
Oh, if they do that.
I'll start to put in red herring holds at some point.
Yeah, I mean, basically, root setters have the power to do anything. They can trick you, they can force you, they control you.
Yeah, and they do work tirelessly. It's in Netherlands there. Alex is 20 seconds. He doesn't want to leave. He'd love another top, and he needs another top to get through. Can he pull something out of the hat in the last 15 seconds of his competition? Gets the heel. No, not enough for him. He gave it a great fight. Salutes the crowd. That'll be the last that we see of Alex in the Meiringen comp.
Yeah, it's a very, very supporting crowd. Doing a good job out there.
Last year's with Adam Ondra not here this weekend, which is interesting. Just choosing to prioritize other things at the moment.
Well, that makes sense. I think also Olympics left a lot of athletes lacking motivation. Jan Goyer is not with us this season at all. Janja is going to miss the next World Cups in bouldering. Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, Miho out of semis.
Yeah, it is all change. And let's see this now. Samoa.
No, it's
oh, sorry.
Yoshiyuki.
Yoshiyuki getting the top.
Same haircut, no?
Yeah. So Yoshiyuki matching. That's from earlier on.
Maybe
Great
that's
news
his
from him.
strategy for being better than Tomoa. Get the same or better haircut than he does. Oh.
So many big names in that Japanese team. It's unbelievable. And a lot of people tell me it's down to, some of it is down to the gyms in Japan and just how hardcore some of them are. B-Pump, of course, that very famous gym, just being a real brutal training venue.
Yeah, they have really good root setters, and they're very creative, and the athletes are psyched to try new things and difficult things.
So Colin Duffy is on Boulder 4, swinging around, matches. Oh, look at that strength as he reaches up onto the crimp. Rocks up with the heel, and now he needs to move all of his body weight to the left-hand side, lay back that hold, and there's not a lot on it, almost crimping with his fingers.
Still stays on, even though he slipped. Impressive.
Yeah.
2 tops and 4 zones. This looks good for him.
Colin Duffy in 4th, looking to cement his place in the final. The slap and the hold.
Amazing.
We haven't seen many athletes
Doing
do that.
This one, yes. So that's 3 tops for Colin, and I can say this for sure now, Matt. He is in finals.
Colin Duffy.
Maybe. Hope so. Hope so.
I can tell for sure maybe he's in the finals.
Yeah, he is.
Colin Duffy books his place. There we go. Colin Duffy in the finals for Team USA. They'll be happy. Zan just trying to get the crowd behind him. I think he might be the last athlete out on stage now. Sloper with the left hand. Which means that Max is in the danger zone for that finals.
Yeah, depends now how high up Tomoa will get, who gets kicked out. And it also depends if Yoshiyuki tops the last one. That will change a bit. So technically there are 2 more climbers that can endanger the current seeding finalists.
Yeah, we're watching a replay of Colin Duffy here. That was his big move, big lock off to finish in the finals for him. Fantastic performance, looking on form as he gets his season off to a good start. And Zan takes a fall backwards. He's got 1:50.
I think it's always a pretty good motivator if you get in the finals on your first competition. It's a nice season opener. You know you're in good shape, and it can only go upwards from there. So you have a good confirmation that you work well the winter.
Clearly works, Dasha.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
No, but it's true. I mean, when you're away, I would imagine that you know, sometimes you're locked in dark training caves, trying your hardest. You don't know where you are compared to everyone else.
Yeah, even though teams try to cooperate and get like do simulations together, where they make a competition which is a non-official one to simulate the conditions you'll get on the World Cups, and then sometimes team do stuff together. Like as I live in Germany, I did it with the German team, and sometimes we had guests from Belgium, Netherlands, and so on, Slovenia as well. But you can just get an approximate feeling who is where, and also from one simulation to another, things change drastically. So you're never 100% sure who's really good and who's not good.
Yeah, this is the first time the athletes really get to see where they're at. And it's been interesting for us. What can Zan do here? He's still going, he hasn't given up. 20 seconds, still back on the wall. He needs a zone.
He does need a zone.
And he's not going to get it.
Imprecise.
So Zan leaves, he's got one to go. Some big falls.
It is 1 o'clock, but I think I'll stay a few more minutes. I think it's not the train though. I need to drive my team to to Zurich for the plane, and we need to leave at 1:30. So I think we're fine.
Stash, it's up to you. I don't want you to miss the train. But thank you for joining us. We're seeing another replay of Colin Duffy here. That meant a lot to him, and he knew that was going to be in the finals. Great performance. And this is Zan. Again and again, he went back to the wall. Never gave up. So, our top 6 at the moment. Max Milne gets in the danger zone after Colin Duffy went up. Eugene, Paul, Colin, Mejdi, Kokoro in the top 6. Kokoro just solid with those 4 tops. And those 4 tops looking more and more impressive now.
Yeah, they do. It's really another level. And it's really difficult when you get a climber who climbs so early in the round and they top everything, and you must be thinking, the rest are going to top that as well. But then it's not the case. Interesting. Then you don't appreciate that performance that much.
I know, and you look back and you think,
yes,
wow, that was special.
That was good, yeah. I wish I saw it again.
Yeah. There's Shiuki.
Is he going to top now? Oh.
See, it's even more impressive watching Colin do that method and stick it.
Yeah, he kind of also had the swing backwards and hit the wall with his foot and stopped himself. Very delicate, those moves.
So he'll take a sec to clean the holds.
I really wish the brushes do come back. Saves you so much energy and time, really. You have to take a brush, change the length brush, put it down, take a smaller brush, do brush, and then you have to breathe and rest and take a look at what you should do.
Yeah, all of it's time, and it's relentlessly ticking.
Yeah.
So much these athletes have to think about. And he is taking his time looking at it. Doesn't want to burn his energy too much. Needs to be smart with it as well.
We haven't seen Tomont on number 3 yet. He goes with the right hand in the second red one. Interesting. See if he gets it stuck now.
Here he goes again, goes for the big jump.
Yes. Amazing commitment there.
Unbelievable. You would not think about that beta looking at that hold. You know, you'd think it would just be that catch underneath.
Yeah, but usually top holds are really good. I think I did this last year in semifinals where I just skipped 2 moves and just launched to the top because top was a jug and the 2 holds above me were not grabbable. So sometimes when you're there and you have a good overview of the holds, you think, oh well, I may be able to do this. But I think the root setters didn't like that. It's cheating.
Yeah, exactly. It is a good, I mean, it's a good, you're right, it is good, but that's a big jump, almost a body length away. Fist bumps to get it done.
So Ogata currently in 4th place, kicking Max out.
So Max down after that top. The dying moments of this competition, changing things up for our finalists.
Yuji Inoue is in the danger zone now.
Well,
and we only have left basically Tomoa.
Yep.
Yeah. Tomoa needs at least 2 zones.
And he hasn't got a zone yet, and time is running out for him. He's got those 2 tops so far, of course, but will need a zone on this.
2 tops and 5, yeah. That would still be better than Yuji, yeah. So if he gets just 2 zones, he'll be in 6th.
So it's in his hands. What can he do? Swings out. There is the zone marked with a pink line. Not count yet, though. He's touched it.
Now he does have it.
So that's 1 of the 2 done. He'd like a top, wouldn't he?
Interesting it took him so much time to get this move done. It should be his style.
Into the pinch.
This looks like a top. It does.
It is for Tomoa. He needed a zone. He got a top, making sure of his position.
So he's in the finals too. I think our finalists are now defined.
We might have our top 6 then.
Yeah. I think that is pretty much it. Tomoa then comes up 3rd place. Shifting Colin down. No, 4th actually. Had 1 attempt more.
This is a replay.
Or well, 1 zone less, sorry. Still. Can still climb up. He can still perhaps stop. This one, next one, should be his style. If he doesn't do it as easy as we think, then Tomoa's style has changed.
So Tomoa makes it count on Boulder 3. He's got 1 remaining.
So do we now have Zan climbing alone on number 4? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
So that's 10 more minutes left for us.
Have you got time, Sasha?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
okay, that's good. So that's our top 6. Paul Jempt down in 6th, Yoshiki in 5th, Tomoa 4th, Colin Duffy 3rd, Mejdi Shak 2nd, and Kokoro Fuji 1st. So, interesting.
2 French climbers, 3 Japanese climbers, and a US climber.
Kokoro qualifying down the order in this final actually might, in the semi-final, might help him because he's going to have more time to rest now.
Yes, it definitely doesn't. Since he topped everything and didn't use too many attempts, I think he saved a lot of skin and he'll be in the perfect position for later.
Yeah, making himself the favorite. There is Zan on M4. 4 minutes of physicality stands between him and the top. He's not going to get into the final, way down in 20th at the moment. So, and again, it's that thing. He qualified in 2nd and just didn't quite manage to convert it.
Yeah, I think it will be a good learning experience for him. How to do the strategy, how to spare your attempts. Maybe to see that trying too hard in qualifications puts you in a really bad starting position for semis and greasy holds, everything chalked up. So it took me some time to realize that being really good in qualifications means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because if you're not used to the feeling, the texture of the holds by being in that place, then you're going to struggle with it. You're not going to know how to climb it.
I struggled a lot when I was being really good in qualifications and starting 17th to 20th. I think my 2nd time in Meiringen, I started last because I won the qualification round and I couldn't do anything. I was sliding off the holds and I ended up being lower than 10th.
But what do you do about that? Is it just a case of learning it and practicing? And
it's just like taking it easy in qualifications, because I know that I'm capable of coming into semis. I dropped out of semis maybe twice. But just like chilling down, allowing myself to be slow, and also not judging myself for getting too many attempts. And you know, it's qualifications. When you're high up in the ranking, you start early. If you're in the morning, it's really early. My brain doesn't work yet. It's like nothing works for me in the morning. So I'm just slow and I'm okay with it. I try the top stuff, but I try not to be too stressed about being slow and solving problems. But sometimes, you know, it could be that the round is really easy and you have to flash everything. happened.
Yeah, and it's easier said than done, but if you're in that qualifying, you want to get into the semi-finals, it's hard to back off. It's hard to take your foot off the accelerator.
It is a matter of confidence too. If I know that I am good enough for semis, you know, I know how to tone it down and be not try too hard.
We just saw a shot of Team Slovenia, Janja in the centre of it, and we mentioned it before, but she is having won emphatically last night. She's backing away a little bit from boulders, concentrating on lead and giving herself a break. Yeah,
I think it's a fair thing to do for herself, and she is really psyched for some outdoor projects.
Trying the Dura.
Yes,
everyone's talking about it.
Trying the Bugeleisen sit. She told me how I almost did it last time. It's good. I like to see comp climbers psyched for outdoor projects.
Yes, me too. That's the outdoor climber.
Yes.
So Zan not finding the solution to this move at the moment. Maybe tired at this point because it is physical. You've got to throw yourself out and catch it.
Yeah, he did get a zone, but slipped off while trying to progress up from it. And now it just fatigue, chalk, focus.
And again, if you've got the zone on a boulder, then you can't get back to that zone mentally as well. Hard to deal with. It is hard.
It's like, should I just give up? I mean, I feel like giving up, but I maybe can try a bit harder. Who knows?
He's got 30 seconds. He's not going to give up. He has an all competition. Maybe not resting quite enough, but doesn't matter. This time he makes it stick.
Still got to campus this one and now keep his foot on this time. Slipped last time, switches to toe, manages to put up 12 seconds left. Will he jump for the top? That's what I do.
Yes, he is.
Oh, almost there.
Really?
Oh,
that was awesome to see.
So disappointed.
Oh,
difficult.
Breathing hard. I think that was everything. That man is empty. He's gone. He's done. Team Slovenia appreciating his efforts.
A really nice effort there from Zan.
Right, so one final athlete will come out and join us, Tomoa Narasaki. There he is, entering from the right. He's got to make the long run all the way to the left.
Can he flash?
There he is. Can he flash it? Stashes Clay. Oh, where's he gone? There he is. There he is again.
And then he's gone again.
So Tomoa will be out. He's just rushing the hands, getting ready. Making sure everything's prepared for his attempt. Currently in fourth. Won't know necessarily that he's in the finals already. And they want to perhaps get in a better position for the finals. Some athletes like coming out last.
Yeah.
I always get the feeling Janja is always a bit unsettled when she's not last climbing, because she's just used to that position.
Yeah, probably. I like it when I start in the middle. I don't like being last. It's so much pressure. It's like you kind of know what's going on. Oh no, he didn't flash it.
No flash. But
where are my expectations today? Oh.
High.
I'm too strict for these people.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
High standards. So 3 minutes 50 of this comp, and then I know Stash is going to have to run out of the building.
Come on, Tomoa, do it quickly. I gotta go.
Oh, that's true. Actually, this is why you want the flash. So Tomoa gets himself ready. He's got 3 minutes 40. He's in the finals. 3 tops. Can he make it 4 out of 4? What a crowd we have here.
It's really full.
Great to see. Right, they're hyping him up. I hope you're cheering at home if you're watching this. We're in the last moments of our men's semi-final.
Catches it. Easy campus. Oh, another easy campus. Sure, man, why not?
He's got energy to spare now, palms off as he presses into the wall, matches. Which method, which jump is he going to use? The big swing!
Yes.
Finishes it off with style, Tomoa Narasaki, 4 out of 4. There you go, Stash. Not quite a flash, but almost.
But I'm satisfied enough. He did flash the upper part, so it's enough of a flash for me.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our finals. We'll get confirmation of the board. We're going to say goodbye to Stasha Gale. We'll just watch out. Stay for 1 sec. Watch this Tomoa replay. Talk us through it. Came off, stuck
Jumps,
this first move.
Stops it. Good thumb press underneath.
See that again. That was the catch. Held it.
And one campus move.
And then the second
Looked
campus
at the
move.
footholds like, I don't need it.
Yeah, no need.
Goes up.
And then a huge jump to finish things off.
Transfers to the left. Puts his foot up. And then, oh, look at that top. It looks good. I'll jump. And then solidly gets in.
Well, Stasha, thank you so much for joining me in the box. I know
a
you've got to
pleasure.
run. Stasha Geo, ladies and gentlemen, athlete, finalist last night, expert analysis. Thank you for your time.
I need to get some actual degree of analyst so you can keep calling me that.
Exactly. I'll get it sorted out for you.
Sure.
See you soon, Stasha.
See you
Thank
around.
you. So that is our top 6. Paul Jemft coming in 6th position, Yoshiki Ogata in 5th, Colin Duffy 4th, Mejdi Shout 3rd, Tomoa Narasaki in 2nd, and Kokoru Fuji leading the way in 1st position due to attempts to top. What a semi-finals that was. We'll be back this evening for more action for the men's. 6 athletes will be competing for the gold medal position. So much action to come. Don't go anywhere, and we will see you in a couple of hours.